to get killed out there.
What did you say?
I said Kobe Bean Bryant has been overrated ever since he passed away.
Now, I'd say they could lose about 4, but I don't see them losing 5. You know what I mean?
Whole sports all plays. 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 Whole sports all plays.
All right, we good? All right, cool.
Yep.
All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another Wednesday night of Just Say the Truth with my star-studded cast right here. Right below me, we got the voice of the Windy City himself. We got Mike on the mic. Mike, what's up?
Man, I'm chilling, bro. It's a rough week, but we're chilling.
Right? Hey, we gonna keep pushing through it. That's what we do. We just keep moving forward. We gotta live life to the fullest. We gotta enjoy the life we get to live for everybody else. Of course, to my right, I got my brother in my armed forces with me. I got Mel, my
What's
brother.
up, brother? What's going on? What's up? I ain't got nothing to say. I'm just ready to talk some sports, man. So
Hell yeah. I like Mel already.
And then, of course, we got Freddie's true mentor, Freddie's voice of reason, his true conscience as far as being a Lakers fan and trying to keep Freddie in check. We got the man himself. We got Jonathan. Jonathan, how are you doing, sir?
What's going on, fellas? I have a sleeping baby tonight.
I know,
It's
so
nice.
It's
a blessing. It's really fun.
So we got to keep it a little bit toned down. Luckily, we don't have Freddie here, so we got to keep
How
it.
How are you guys tonight? And a pleasure to have you on, Mel.
oh yeah,
Pleasure.
pleasure to be here, bro.
And thank you for your service as well.
And
I
then, of
do
course,
it for the money.
right? Wait, Chief, you making money? No, we need to talk about that. And then, of course, I got to save the best for last. We have the talented Sensei who takes Freddie to school every night. Unfortunately, Freddie couldn't make it to school tonight because he was tired of being abused by the Sensei. But we have Alana with us as well. How are you, ma'am?
I'm doing great. Sorry you guys can't see me because I'm doing dishes right now, but I'm doing great. Ready to talk sports. Listen, I appreciate being on with you fellas. Too bad I can't show Mel how I really get down and take Freddie to school like I do every day, but it's all good.
Hey, them dishes come at you fast, so definitely got to get on top of them.
Man, what high speed?
As you
it's
should.
all good. We gonna make it work.
Right.
That's probably why Freddie's
Hey,
not here, because he
Tony.
knows I've been on his case about the Lakers.
Tony, are we going to talk about it?
Talk about what?
All right, listen, y'all. I know there's some viewers out there. Maybe there's certain viewers out there. Maybe it's one of us among us right now. Whoever reported my comment today on the
he
Ace
was gonna do
Network,
this.
you're a hoe. I'm blocked for 20. I'm in Facebook jail, but guess what? Facebook, I'm live right now. What you gonna do about it, bro? All I said was, Freddie, Mel. For you that don't know, my Bulls were suspected to lose to the Lakers, and there was no doubt about it, with or without LeBron. My Bulls stomped their ass. So when Freddie went on the Spotlight Network today and said the Bulls can pull up anytime, I commented, "Pull up, ho." And immediately, Facebook jail. Like, not even 5 minutes later, I was in Facebook jail.
That's tough.
Whoever it was, I'm going to remember that.
That's tough.
I'm young with a long memory.
It might have been Freddie whole time.
It might have been
Yeah,
Freddie.
because he gets real sensitive. He gets real sensitive when you talk about his Lakers. Don't cross that line and talk
I
about
said,
his Lakers.
pull up.
He's gonna
He
have
said,
something to say about it.
Right. Well, anyway, we are going to talk about one of Freddie's other favorite players. We're going to talk about the man who made his Rams debut on Monday night. There's a lot of people say that he literally and figuratively dropped the ball when it came to his Monday night performance. Mel, my brother, I'm going to start with you. What did you think of OBJ's performance? And we've kind of noticed that OBJ has been the scapegoat for everything that went wrong in New York, everything that went wrong in Cleveland. That it was Baker, it's Eli. He's never had an elite quarterback to throw to him. Now he has Matt Stafford. Is OBJ really to blame for all of this, or is it something entirely different?
to blame for all of what? Just that one game on Monday night?
The one game on Monday
because-
night, is Odell to blame for his lack of production, or is it an Odell or is it a team
So
thing?
we'll back it up to New York then, and New York was fine. That was good. He was playing well. He had his best years in New York. The problem is people started getting injured. They had coaching changes, and Eli got old. You know, and that's all that really happened there. Then he goes to Cleveland. He's still, playing okay. Jarvis Landry's playing okay. They got a young quarterback with Baker Mayfield trying to, build some chemistry. Then OBJ gets hurt. He comes back, and it's hard to get acclimated. But if you look at Jarvis Landry's, he's averaging less than 40 yards a game and probably less than 4 catches. Same with OBJ. So they was having issues getting any of their receivers the ball consistently or at a high clip during the game. So you can't blame that on Odell Beckham. And then this Rams thing has just been one game, and I expected him not to be able to go out there and play all the snaps because he don't know all the plays. He don't know all the terminology. He couldn't stay on the field when they was going no huddle. And, he could just go out there and run basic routes and try to do a little something. So I think it's real too early and premature to say there's an issue in LA. And I think the Cleveland thing was just a quarterback issue.
Okay. So we're going to take it to our Rams fan in sunny South California. Jonathan, what do you make of it as a Rams fan? Are you optimistic from what you've seen, or kind of like what Mel said? Do you think it's just one of those that he's got to work his way into the system?
There's a lot of fans out here saying that he's already destroyed team chemistry. I don't want to say that he has destroyed team chemistry because it's only one game, and we really can't base things off of one game. We got to see what Odell Beckham Jr. can bring to this team. One game doesn't really determine much. One game doesn't really tell us much. He's still getting acclimated to the team. He's still learning the playbook. He's adjusting to a new style of play. He's also, communicating now with a new quarterback. So we got to give him the benefit of the doubt. And we really know how good Odell Beckham Jr. is. I don't think we ever question his ability to play the game. I think what we question is his character. Can he stay focused? Can he keep his head in the game? And I think that's the reality of the entire situation. Let's talk about Matthew Stafford, how terrible he looked in this game. Now we know how great he's been all year, but he kind of reverted back to his old self at times in Detroit, where he would make costly mistakes, where he would make poor decisions with the football. I hope that, we see the Matthew Stafford that we've been seeing, the one that looks like a true MVP. But I think over time, we will know a little bit more about Odell Beckham. Right now, we don't have enough information to really say much.
Okay. What about you, Sensei? So, and this is going to be kind of a question for everybody, but I want to kind of kick it off with Alana. Out of the divorce from Cleveland to LA, who do you think has really won as far as, either getting or losing OBJ? Do you think Cleveland won as far as losing him? Do you think the Rams won, especially the fact that they lost Robert Woods, which a couple of people have said we need to check OBJ's alibi at the fact that, as soon as he gets there, the number 2 receiver goes down. So I have to check some security footage, make sure OBJ ain't doing nothing stuff.
Center snipers.
Exactly. But what do you think, man?
I think it's a win for LA for the simple fact that, we all mentioned, that Woods went down and tore his ACL, so he's going to be out for the season. And they pretty much typically are doing the same thing. Like, Odell's going to be the deep threat. He's going to be, in the slot. He can return punts, things of that nature. Or when you got to air it out, he's great for that. I think with Cleveland, because it was kind of like a in between. Like, there's some people blamed Baker, some people blamed Odell, but I think it's gonna expose Baker a little bit, because now you don't have the excuse of, well, I got Odell here, so I can't perform my game because I'm trying to force things to him. Like, you don't have that fallback excuse anymore. So everything is gonna be on Baker, which is how he wants it. So now we're gonna see, what Baker's actually really made of. You know what I'm saying? So I think that it's going to be a lose for Cleveland in the long run because they're going to see that Baker ain't that guy like that. It wasn't all on Odell because, I mean, it's to the point where now he's not even getting the ball to Jarvis anymore. So, and Jarvis was like his main guy. And now that's, that's starting to disintegrate and fall apart. I think as well as like everybody alluded to before, that it was just one game. Odell still has to get acclimated a little bit. I think if you give him a couple weeks, we can kind of give a more fair assessment of what kind of player he's going to be for the Rams, or just how positive that's going to be for them. But to expect him to be otherworldly in one game where he just barely knows the offense is utterly ridiculous. So I think that once he gets a little bit more time, gets his feet wet a little bit more, I think he'll be just fine. But Matthew Stafford, like Jonathan said, has to make sure that he doesn't revert back to his old ways, because a lot of things that went wrong for the Rams on Monday, was predicated off of what Matthew Stafford didn't do right, not what Odell, was able to do or what wasn't able to do. It was a lot of things that he didn't do right. And I think the Rams as a whole, they kind of looked over this game. They didn't really expect the 49ers to come out the way that they did. They thought it was just going to be an easy win, and, it wasn't. So that's what I think, think happened.
Okay. Exactly. 100% agree.
And what up, Chris? Glad to see you watching. Appreciate the love and support. Appreciate the love and support to everybody. And I think we're still doing it. Freddie might correct me if I'm wrong. But again, we are always looking to do a viewer of the month as far as commenting. So comment, share, get the word out there if you can. You can potentially get a free ASAP t-shirt, which neither Mike or I have yet.
Nope.
Or Jonathan.
Me either. About that.
Or exactly. The sensei of all people don't have one either. So
nope.
Just saying, y'all can have t-shirts before we do.
That's why I'm a
Tony, you know what I think
I got one. Y'all ain't got it yet?
Maybe even Chief getting
that.
Okay.
Wow. Tony, you know
I'm joking. I'm joking.
I want to also bring this up too. I think the reason why they're pointing the finger at Odell Beckham early on is because of his history as well. Mm-hmm. It's easy.
Yeah.
It's easy to place the blame on him and make him look like the target. But it's really on other people that didn't play well on Sunday or Monday night.
And Tony, I assumed I was going, but
Oh yeah, you are.
Just to get right into it, it bothers me. And Jonathan, this is not a shot at you. You are my brother, and I love your unbiased takes. But the majority of the problem for LA that just is completely getting ignored. Why is Matthew Stafford starting to play a little bit worse now of late? It's because of the run game. They are a one-dimensional team. You look at them against the Titans. You had Henderson rushed 11 carries for 55 yards. Michelle had 7 carries for 20. Matthew Stafford had 2 for 13. Bro, you almost had as much as Michelle did. And then you look at it in the San Francisco 49ers game. Henderson again, 31 yards. Michelle, 20 yards. Like, it's not that Stafford is digressing. It's not that he's having a rough season. It's not that he's not being better. It's that they're focusing so much on the passing game that, they're becoming one-dimensional. It's easy to prepare for that when Henderson's not doing shit. Michelle's not doing anything. It's a big problem, and it's something they need to address. And the Odell thing, listen, Tony knows how I feel. And I got attacked. I said it is Odell's fault to why he got moved, but it is Baker's fault for putting him in that situation. And that's truly how I felt. Both of them played their role in it, whether it was the Instagram post, whether it was being kind of toxic. I say it all the time. Odell Beckham Jr. is a benign tumor. If you take care of it, it will never bother you in your entire life. If you eat like shit and treat it like shit, it will become cancerous and it will kill you. That's just how I view him. He can save you or kill you. And it's proven twice now what can happen. To say that this man is selling in 3 days of being a part of this team when the number 2 option goes down with a torn ACL on top of all of it. If Robert Woods plays this game, I doubt anybody talks about Odell Beckham Jr. I promise you they don't. If they still lose this game, it's not on Odell. But because of the fact that Odell was this guy, Tyler Higbee, again, hasn't stepped up in any way, shape, or form. Everyone expected him to be a big part of this offense. He really hasn't been. He's been okay, but he's not that big focal point that everyone expected him to be. I think at the end of the day, it's unfair to judge Odell. And coming from me, I know a lot of people are shocked about that. But it's just the truth. I think, we're definitely going to see some growing pains. You might not see it work out this entire season because there was no training camp. There was no off season together. They are adjusting to this on the whim, on the fly, mid-season. And out of all of the seasons, this is his first season back since tearing his ACL. So I think there's definitely a lot to take into consideration with this. I think it's going to be fine. I think it'll work out. Odell knows what he's doing. Matthew Stafford knows what he's doing. But to just say it's on them, those two, I think is ridiculous. You have zero run game, and I think your team is one-dimensional.
Yeah. All right, Joe, welcome in. Appreciate you being able to join with us. So I did ask your question, and of course I'm going to ask you since you're the creator of it. Who do you think won in this divorce between Cleveland and Odell? Do you think Cleveland won, or do you think Odell ended up being the winner?
I think Cleveland wins because Odell can't really talk about it. If Odell talks about what happened in Cleveland, then he's the bad guy. Cleveland gets out of this scot-free.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, can anybody remember what Cleveland gave up to get Odell Beckham Jr.?
A lot. Jabril Peppers, a couple firsts, yeah.
Okay. I mean, you remember, but I think the average person, if you ask
Yeah,
them,
probably won't.
they're probably not going to remember. So, I mean, right there, you're going to look at and say, you invested this money in Jarvis Landry, who actually is a better fit for your scheme. You traded all these assets. You traded a safety, which I was never a big Peppers fan. Like, I thought he was more of a gimmick guy. So I like their defensive backs now better than with Jabril Peppers there. If you take out like a John Johnson III, I would rather have him than Jabril Peppers.
Yeah.
But again, Odell can't talk about this. If he does, he's the bad guy. Then people are going to say, well, did your dad know about it? You know, what did you know about? What did you and your dad do? Well, I didn't have anything to do with my dad. Well, okay, sure. We don't believe you. Well, what were your issues with Baker? I don't have any issues with Baker. He was great. And then Baker might say, well, you know, I haven't heard from Odell, so you have to ask him. I mean, no matter what happens, Cleveland comes out better in this just because they get to control the narrative. Baker's still on the team. They, right now, are the team that, you know, people are just like, oh, we give him an excuse because of all the Odell drama. We don't give Odell an excuse over the Cleveland drama. We don't go both ways with it, right? Isn't everybody blaming Odell? Nobody's blaming the Cleveland organization. Oh, that was a different GM. That was a different, you know, everything. They don't care. It's still the same uniform, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
The Giants win.
Right, the Giants do win.
Very good. I never even thought of it that way.
I mean, wait, do they though? The Giants have started 0-2 every year since.
Yeah, but they got the picks. They got Peppers. They're free. They're chilling, and they're
they have all of that, but they've done nothing with it. So that's not a win. That's an L.
You gotta look at it like this, though,
you didn't do nothing with it. Yeah, go ahead.
I look at it like, okay, you gave us 2 firsts, a third, and Peppers for exactly what we told you was going to happen with Odell, and it happened. So I think they win out of all people.
But I mean, it didn't necessarily happen. It's just if you're a logical person who, you know, realizes how things work, especially in sports, or realize how people are in general, then you understand that this ain't all on Odell. Like, I'm not saying
no, not at all.
Odell is a scapegoat, or that he's, you know, completely free of criticism, because that's not true.
Here we go.
Because that's not true, but
boy, he made a grand entrance.
But you can't put the onus all on Odell, because let's like I said, let's just keep it real. Baker just ain't that dude like that. He's not.
Oh, right. But the way I look at it, the Rams didn't really win this because Robert Woods went down, so that kills that. You know, where you're still one.
Well, I mean, in a sense,
and Cleveland didn't win it because they still suck.
That's true. I mean, and in the sense they kind of take away a win as well, because it's not like they're locked into a long-term contract with Odell. So if it doesn't work, they can rid him at the end of the season. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and I mean, really, the Rams did win because like you said, they didn't give up anything for him. They signed him in free agency. So I mean, they get him for basically half a year.
Which what a free agency this year turned out to be.
Right? Yeah. Free agency was actually pretty boring this year. But I like what Mike says as far as the one-dimensional thing, because if you look at a lot of teams that are typically very pass happy, you know, what do they normally try to do to make sure that they're balanced? Because once you get pass happy, a lot of times that's like garbage time yardage, unless you're just one of those teams like the Chiefs, you know, last year and the year before. Right, yeah, Tampa Bay. You know, all you have to do is put, you know, 6 to 7 guys in the box, and that shows I'm going to stop that run. We're going to make you one-dimensional. You have to throw the football, and then, you know, you look at Matt Stafford. You know, that's really for the most part all he was ever used to in Detroit, and it was just pretty much the same thing. He has to scramble. He has to make stuff up as he goes, and even with great players that Detroit did have, because, you know, he had Calvin. He had a good Golden Tate in his career, in his prime. He had a couple really good tight ends. You know, Ebron was kind of hit and miss, but, you know, he wasn't terrible. but he never really had a solid run game, and that's all they had to do. We're going to put 7 guys in the box, and that tells you a lot of what they think of him as a quarterback. Hey, I'm going to make you throw it. Freddie, I know you love seeing me twice, but at least mute me. But I said I know you love seeing me twice, but at least mute me because I could hear you. I could hear myself on your TV.
I'm not on TV. That's not me.
Can we talk about the Lakers next?
Oh no. I do have a question for Freddie because he keeps running from it in the chat, and I just want to ask Freddie one question.
I'm sick of Laker fans calling me out. I'm sick and tired of it. I'm sick and tired of all of Laker Nation calling me out for making comments that's true about the team. I'm tired.
Man, I can't even make a comment because I called Freddie a hoe, and now I'm banned off Facebook.
Yeah, because you make comments about the team, you're not a Laker fan.
Freddie,
because you make negative comments.
Because you can't be skeptical.
Mike, when have I ever called you not a Laker fan? When have I ever called you that?
No, that's other people saying that.
Oh,
not you. It's other
Freddie,
people.
I have a question.
I need a question first, and I'm going to let you ask me. Tony, what's your question?
I'm not going to be a cheerleader for the purple and gold. I'm sorry.
Can we let Tony ask the question?
Freddie, what is Aaron Rodgers?
Aaron Rodgers is a quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. What are you talking about?
That's your only response? Is not your usual response?
What's my usual response?
That he's a bad man.
He is. He is. He just not immunized.
I don't know. You struggling to say that though. Liar. You struggling to say it. I've been trying to get you to say it all week.
Did you report my comment this morning, Fredward?
What comment?
You said, Mike, pull up. I said, pull up, ho. And then I got blocked on Facebook.
No, it wasn't.
That's the algorithms. They'll get you every time.
There's some girl you talking to, Mike. They're mad at you.
They are mad at me, but it's unrelated. But man,
all right.
I'll find out.
I do want to do one real quick, especially since we have Freddie here, because I'm interested to see what he has. So, since it is now, going into week 11 of the NFL season, and these last couple weeks have been crazy with upsets with teams that aren't supposed to win. They're coming up with wins. We have, completely just a total loss everywhere. Every game, every team has had some type of just dumpster fire loss that they weren't supposed to have.
Not my team.
Who is y'all's top 5 in the NFL right now?
Right now. The question is right now. Number one.
I ain't start with you. I'm starting with the sensei. Show respect.
I should have moderated tonight. My bad.
No, you shouldn't have. No, you shouldn't.
Sis, I didn't know you was here. Where you at? I don't even see you on the screen.
I'm over here doing housewife duties right now, so I can't.
Oh, okay.
But
she wifey material. She gotta let her do her thing.
Yeah, let me do my thing. I'm trying to practice for whenever that day comes. But anyway,
what the?
I was about to say you married.
We stay.
No, I am not. No, I'm not.
Hey, she waiting for Odell to move up there to Sacramento.
Exactly.
You already know. Listen,
I will hang up my jersey once Odell comes to Sacramento. But anyway,
I ain't never hanging up my shit.
Well, Mike, shut up. You were lying. But anyway, you said top 5 teams in the NFL, right, Tony?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so number 1. I don't know because I feel like it changes every week. But number 1, I'm gonna go with Arizona still. I still think that they're the best team right now. They're just with the collection of wins that they've been able to put together. Number 2. Number 2, I'm gonna shock you, Freddie. I'm gonna go with the Packers. I'm gonna go with the Packers at number 2.
No.
I know. I'm so sorry, Tony. I know I'm going against the grain right now. No. But I'm gonna have to go with number 2 for the Packers. I think that they're clicking on all cylinders at the right time. I know Aaron Rodgers has shown some struggles in the past couple of games, but still they've been able to pull out some impressive wins. So I got to give it to them for that alone. Number 3, I'm going to go with the Rams. I haven't lost faith in the Rams just yet. Like I said, I feel like if Matthew Stafford can figure out some of the kinks a little bit, then I feel like they're still a top contending team. Number 4, I'm going to go with the Dallas Cowboys. Because the Cowboys, they're still leading the division. Obviously, it's not the greatest division to be in, but they still are the leaders of that division. They have shown some improvements and things of that nature. And then number 5, I'm gonna go with Tampa Bay.
Hey,
and
all of the
number-
teams in
number
the
5.
league suck.
Yeah, but say everybody's had some
Yeah.
wins that they have some losses that they shouldn't have, and everybody has some wins that they shouldn't have too. So I
Yeah,
mean, it's kind of up in the air at this point. But those will be my 5.
All right, Mike, what's your top 5 teams, my
Man,
brother?
screw all of you. None of you are on my list. Not a single soul is on my top 5. All of you are garbage, dog water. I'm talking to the Ravens. I'm talking to the Bills. I'm talking to the Packers. I'm talking to everybody and their mama. Horrible. Also, Stephen A. Smith, you have the Titans at 1, my brother. Stop talking to me. Stop talking to me.
I mean, they are 8-2, Mike. I mean, without Henry, without Jones. So
I don't care. You don't use AJ Brown.
You
at
do
all.
have to. You do
I
have to
have
be
the Titans at
objective.
1 too.
You do have to be objective.
You're going to be disappointed in me too.
And they beat
because I have the
and they-
Titans at 1 too. You got to
And they beat
respect that.
5.
too.
They beat
They're
5
well
teams that were
coached.
all in the playoffs last year. I mean,
They're
it's
well
they're
coached,
on a
and
roll.
they're doing it without their top guy. They're doing it without Travis
Derrick Henry.
Henry on the field, which is very impressive.
And
That's why I
fair.
got them at 1.
And that's fair.
And
But-
their defense has stepped up because I thought their defense without Henry too was just going to be the end of Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
1? I don't know about 1, but if I had
That
to
is
pick a
true. That's a
5
good point.
in no particular order. Nah, I'm playing. It's an order.
Yeah, it better be.
Cowboys at 1.
Uh-oh.
All right, y'all.
I'm not gonna
Sorry,
go
y'all.
for one, but I like what
Uh-oh.
Mike's saying.
Nah,
Uh-oh.
I'm
just
fine
said
with,
that
I'm
to piss
fine with
off
saying it. I'm fine with saying it because the
This
Cowboys.
dude come here with
to
his
me-
blasphemy on this Wednesday evening.
All right, well then tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me where I'm. That's not me. You got the wrong white guy. Wrong white guy.
Nobody wants to see
We're
that.
gonna try again.
Nobody wants to
Still
see
the
that.
wrong white guy. There he is. The Cowboys are the number 1 team to me. Their defense isn't great, but it's a lot better. It's getting a lot better over time, and they're still going to have Lawrence coming back very soon. So I'm looking at it like that. If he can stay healthy, taking that next step. You're in a horrible division as 2. They're going to win that division clear cut, no question about it. 3, they are the only offense in this league, and Freddie, you let me know when I'm wrong or where I'm lying, where their team has looked two-dimensional on offense. Pollard and Zeke have looked amazing. Dak, CD, Gallup being back, Cooper, all of them have looked amazing. Every single part of that team is clicking. It's going. It's the only offense that I really look at and say from both sides of the ball they can beat you, whether that be running it up the middle with Pollard or running it through the side with Zeke. You can definitely take it whichever way you want. CeeDee Lamb is here. CeeDee Lamb, to me, has elevated to that next top-tier level. He is being that guy. Is he a top 3 wide receiver in the league? Hell no. But he has emerged in my top 10 in the league right now. Jamar Chase, probably the only rookie I've ever said in my top 10 wide receivers.
They're definitely not number 1 in Broncos games, that's for sure.
That's fine. They're the Broncos the rest of the year. But I got them at 1. At 2, man, it's tough. I would have to say the Titans. I'll give the Titans 2. I'll respect them for that. But 1, I wasn't giving them 1. I just think when you look at how Ryan Tannehill did not hit A.J. Brown at all with Henry being out, with Julio getting out. I understand you got the win and the win counts, but I feel like when it really comes down to it at the end of the day, it is not a complete team. And I'm really hoping that, by some miracle, Henry comes back for at least maybe the playoffs. But I doubt it. But
Mike, be honest, was it because of the Jets loss? It's because they lost to the Jets.
it was that too. You didn't know how to run the ball with Derrick Henry, and that bothered me a lot against the Jets. You didn't run him at all. So I'm still very skeptical of them. I think every defense has its day, and I think they've definitely come up clutch at last couple games. I respect them, but I also view it as, like we said, against the Rams, they're one-dimensional. So really that game plan isn't that hard to game plan for. At 3, I'll put the Packers. At 4, the Ravens. I want to have them at 3, but after that game the other night against Tua, you can't. That can't happen. It can't happen. At 5 is really a toss-up. You can have Arizona. You can have the Rams. You can have the Bills. They really all had shitty weeks, so I'll look at it like that. I'll say Arizona, but the Rams I very quickly escaped my top 5, and it's very unfortunate.
Okay. All right, let's go with the other white guy, Joe. What's
Hell yeah!
I feel so blessed.
Who's your top 5?
All right, so you said top 5 as of right now. So records
As of
really
right
have no indication to me as the top 5 right now.
Right.
Because some of the teams that are in the later end of the playoffs are actually playing better than the top teams. So
Yeah,
my number one team
true.
right now is still Arizona. They went 1-1 without Kyler Murray. You're going to have him come back against Seattle. You're going to have DeAndre Hopkins come back. You want to talk about a team who's balanced on offense? Kyler Murray is easily an MVP candidate, and also James Conner's leading the league in total touchdowns.
Yes, he is. Fantasy God.
So you have a team right there outside of Dallas who actually can run the ball and throw the ball both. So Dallas isn't alone in that hemisphere. Number 2, it's Green Bay. And it's not Green Bay because of Aaron Rodgers. It's actually Green Bay despite Aaron Rodgers. It's that defense. You have Jair Alexander, who's a top 3 corner in the league right now, who's not even playing on this team. And they're going to get him back for the stretch run. They're going to play teams in their division. It's going to get colder up there. They're going to be able to control the ball. Now, obviously, Aaron Jones being hurt 1 to 2 weeks, that hurts. A.J. Dillon is finally coming into his own in that offense. So let's see what happens with that. Number 3, it's Tennessee. And it's Tennessee because of the defense. It's not because of Derrick Henry being gone. It's not because of Julio Jones being gone. It's because of that defense. They have 3 of the best defenders in the league with their interior defensive linemen who are leading the league in pressure rate for the second half of the season so far. And then you have Harold Landry, who the first half of the season with Chandler Jones was like tearing up the outside. And the other thing that they're doing is they're creating turnovers, which is something that Tennessee has struggled with the past couple of years. They've been a terrible defense. Vrabel's finally got that working where they're creating turnovers and they're taking advantage of them on short fields. Number 4, I hate to say it, it's Dallas. And it's Dallas because the offense, because Dak is everything that you could have hoped he was going to be, despite what the preseason said. He didn't play. He didn't practice. People really – I thought that he was not going to be fully healthy, and he has shown to be, aside from this injury now, coming into the season, fully healthy, which I don't think too many people expected. I don't think that the running game is as good. I think if you look at some of those numbers, they started off really well, and if you look at the last couple of games, they've tapered off. They're not really up there with the top running teams like they were. And number 5, it's Buffalo. And it's Buffalo because of this. No team in the league has a point differential over 100, except Buffalo, who's at plus 145. I mean, they are absolutely destroying teams. They beat 2 teams by like 40-plus points. For most of the year, they were leading the league in scoring offense and scoring defense. Again, I want to see what happens. We saw Matt Breida come back finally healthy. He can help that run game. So let's see what goes on with that. But those are my top 5 right there.
Okay.
Tony, can I make a statement really quick?
By all means, brother.
So I got a text. Someone is watching the show right now, and they're a little delayed. So they heard my comment about I will never hang up my jersey, and I just wanted to say Mike Hughes has officially hung up his jersey, and I do apologize and retract my previous statement. I ain't shit, and I'm sorry. Carry on with the show, please. I'm sorry.
All right,
apologize.
All right, Freddie.
Mike, you are the funniest dude ever.
Oh, I had to say, I'm sorry.
Who's your top 5, Freddie?
I won't speak the rest of the
And just like I said, this is, when you talk about top 5, it does change week to week. Number 1 is definitely not the Cowboys. Number 1, it has to go. It has to go to the Arizona Cardinals.
They haven't beat the Broncos since 1999.
Nate, I'm good. My top 5, please. Excellent. Thank you. It has to go to the Arizona Cardinals. Kyler, they still find ways to win football games without Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hop. When they get healthy, that team will still be rolling. They're one of the best teams in the NFC. And then number 2, I do have Green Bay. Just for what we're seeing right now, we're seeing a team finding ways to win basketball games without, depending on Aaron Rodgers every play to bail them out. Their defense is coming alive. The A.J. Dillon, that Dillon running back, he's coming alive. He's finding a way to the offense. And hey, they're becoming a complete. One thing that we've always had against Green Bay is, can you be physical? And we're seeing that they're being physical with teams and finding other ways to win football games. Number 3, I have the Tennessee Titans. Just like I said, without a Derrick Henry, without a Julio Jones, even though he's been a shell of himself, that you still have to respect him for who he is. That deep Tony, I said this last year. That defense have fallen off. Not the year before last, from what they were. But they're trying to find strides to get back and to help them win football games, and they're back. So I got them at number 3. Number 4, I do have the Dallas Cowboys, just because they are the high-powered offense that they have. They do. Diggs and Parsons is having a good defensive year. They have. I can't give them higher than that because your competition who you play does matter. So I have them on my top 4. And number 5, I have the Ravens number 5, just because we've seen a couple 3-4 times this year. Lamar Jackson finding ways to come back in games and win football games. They have had big comebacks this year. Lamar Jackson has proven people wrong that he can throw the football. And this man came in the season wanting to be a quarterback, but he came in the season with all 3 of his running backs being out, where he had to become, be a running back in the quarterback. So that's my top 5.
Okay. All right, Jonathan, who's your top 5?
You know what? Off topic a bit. I put my daughter to sleep. I finally got peace and quiet. And now this damn helicopter is flying overhead. And I don't know if you guys could hear it, but I closed the window because it's freaking annoying. But now I'm going to give my picks. Okay, so number 1, I got the Tennessee Titans because I like how they played on defense. And, Joe said it best. They lead the league in pressure rates. And they have won 5 consecutive games against, I believe they have 5 consecutive victories against 20 playoff teams. So they look really, really good. And again, they're doing this without Travis Henry. That's a top heavy run offense. So without him, it's pretty impressive what we're seeing. Number 2, I got to go with the Dallas Cowboys. Yes, the Dallas Cowboys are still looking good in that NFC East. They're definitely going to.
How are they top 3, Jonathan? How?
Can I please finish?
Tell me how.
They're in my top 2. Okay, whether you like it or not, Fred.
How?
They're in my top 2.
What have they done?
They played really well this season, and they had a bounce back victory.
Better than the Cardinals. They played better than the Cardinals. Better than the Rams. They played better than.
Freddie, keep going on to me.
Get through my top 5. Can I please get through my top 5? Okay, so before I was rudely interrupted, at number 3, I got your man, Aaron Rodgers, your dude, your favorite guy out there, okay? I got him at 3, if that makes you feel better. I hope that makes you feel better. And the reason why I got him at 3, it's not because Aaron Rodgers is a bad man. It's because that defense has been very, very solid. You're getting a great effort from that secondary. Everyone has stepped up. Everyone seems to know their role. The defense is getting better each week. So I like them at number 3. And then, of course, number 4, I have to go with the Arizona Cardinals. They look like the team to beat in the NFC West. We know that the Rams are on shaky terms, and that's my next team. I got the Rams at 5 because I'm not really ready to give up on the Rams. I think they have too much firepower to be left off of this list. So I still got hope in the Rams, and that's my top 5.
Okay. I'm going to go real quick, and then I'm gonna hand it over to Mel. So my top 5, my number 1 has to be Tennessee. Obviously, the defense has played solid. I'm sorry, Mike. I know. I can't help it. I'm actually going to surprise a lot of people with my next few picks, especially Freddie. So I have to say Tennessee number 1. Like I said, like y'all said, they've overcome the fact they lost Derrick Henry. Their defense has played lights out. They beat 5 teams that were all in the playoffs last year, and they've beaten them pretty handily. Number 2, I got to go the Arizona Cardinals. Again, they're still the team to beat. They've done well without Kyler, without DeAndre Hopkins, and even with AJ Green kind of making just dumb mistakes, which happens. The Cardinals are still the team to beat in the NFC at least. 3, I am going to go with the Rams because when the Rams figure it out, the Rams are still going to be a very scary, very potent team.
Not the question, but okay. That wasn't the topic, but okay.
Let him get through his 5. Come on.
I know he's salty. He already knows what's coming. So number 4.
Packers fans get mad when they don't get their top 3.
Oh, the Packers ain't even in my top 5. No, and I'm going to explain why.
There's no objectivity at all.
Huh?
Because you not having no objectivity. That's why.
Oh, but you admit to being a Packers fan.
I'm not a Packers fan, Mike.
But
you expect me to hang the jersey up?
Anyway, my number 14 has to be
hang his jersey up.
My number 14 has to be the Bills. Like Joe said, they still have a high-powered offense. They're number 1 in defense. I mean, yes, they lost to the Jags, but everybody has bad loss this season, and you can't discredit them or count them out. And to shock everybody, the Baltimore Ravens are my number 5. I am not putting the Dallas Cowboys in the top 5, and I'm not going to put the Cowboys in the top 5 for a few reasons. The Denver game kind of humbled Dallas a little bit because Dallas kind of got in their own way as far as they looked at Denver. They looked at the fact that they lost Von Miller. They looked at the fact that it's Teddy Bridgewater. They looked at the fact that it's an offense to me is very held back because of Teddy. And actually, I think it's progressing really more because of Teddy. It was held back more with Drew Lock, but it's still held back because they're just a quarterback away. I'm not putting the Packers in the top 5, mainly being I still don't trust the Packers as a team. Without Aaron Rodgers, the Packers average 13.3 points a game, which is less than the Detroit Lions with all of their starters and Matt Stafford, and the Jets with all of their starters, Sam Darnold and Zach Wilson, either one. I don't trust them.
That's no objectivity to your case.
That is objectivity.
No, it's not. Because what this top 5 list is what you have seen so far, not what you think is right
What
now.
I've seen so far, Green Bay is not the team. They struggled against Seattle with a returning Russell Wilson with a depleted Seattle defense that has been garbage, and Russell Wilson's first game back on offense. And your bad man, Aaron Rodgers, did not throw a single touchdown. It was mainly through the ground game, and he threw an interception to a linebacker safety hybrid for his 3rd career interception ever. No
objectivity at all.
And you want to know? No, there is objectivity. You want to know why? You know who really lost in the Green Bay getting Aaron Rodgers back is Green Bay. You know why? Because that shows they have no faith in Jordan Love. And yes, he had one game
against
City. We can't hold that against because if you think you have the quarterback for the future, you went up and got him. If you have the guy, why not let Aaron go?
You have Aaron Rodgers.
Why not let Aaron go?
BS move. I'm not going to even talk about this because you're not talking to objectivity. You're just trying to get under my skin, and it's not going to work. Like take carry the hell on.
Justin Fields runs the North, Freddie, and you know.
Objectively, it's you.
Right.
Because Jonathan, you just mad because I put you in your place. Like Big Perk say, carry the hell on.
Hold on.
You're sensitive, just like the rest of Laker Nation. So I wouldn't talk too much.
Can I ask Freddie a question real quick? I have an honest question, Freddie, because I'm new here, so I'm not going to pretend to know all the dynamics that go on. Answer me this.
He's a Packers fan.
Has Aaron Rodgers done more for the Packers organization, or has the Packers organization done more for Aaron Rodgers? Now, before you answer that, keep in mind, they always talk about not drafting a number 1 receiver. They draft defensive backs. They draft running backs. They get pieces around him to build a complete team, not a complete offense, a complete team. Now, do you think the organization has done more for Rodgers, or Rodgers has done more for the organization?
I think you're muted, boss.
Yeah, you're muted, Freddie.
Muted, boss.
I'm gonna say he's done more for the organization.
Oh, I knew it.
I understand what you're talking about. These drafting because when's the last time the Green Bay had a top 10 defense? Oh wait,
last year.
This year.
No, 2010 when he won the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
No, exactly. Hold on. Are you talking?
You draft all these defensive players, and you still can't get in the top 10.
Top 10 yards. What are you talking? Top 10?
I'm talking about defensive rankings. They have not ranked top 10 in a long time.
I believe they were 10 last year.
No, they was not top 10, Mike.
Freddie,
no, they was about middle pack.
They rank in top 10 in points allowed and top 10 in yards. So you have to be specific as to which one you like.
I asked the question, when was the last time? And I'm asking, when was the last time?
You're not. Give
me a minute. When, Joe? When are you talking about?
So let's say 2010.
Okay, so you mean to tell me that the 11 to 12 years since then, this defense have gave up leads? This defense cannot stop a cold? There was reports where Aaron Rodgers went into management and said, hey, what do you think about this guy? What do you think about? And they told him to get the hell out of the office, They run the business. They're the quarterback. I'm gonna say Aaron Rodgers.
Good.
Can I speak on that? And,
by all
and
means.
I agree with Freddie. I think Aaron Rodgers has done more for Green Bay than vice versa. You know, and you can say that they've been building around him and all this stuff, but when you go to the championship game 2 years in a row, and both times you either can't move the ball or you can't protect Aaron Rodgers long enough to get anything done on offense, it's time for you to start thinking about the offensive end a little bit. And for you to have Devontae Adams, who's a great receiver, and just have him be able to get double teamed in the playoffs and not have another guy that you can go to, and you still don't go to him in the draft, you don't address it in free agency. They had to force him to go get Randall Cobb. You know, you trade up for a quarterback and to take him in the first round that you could have gotten the third round. It just don't make sense. Like what they've done in the last 3 years makes zero sense, and it's not helping Aaron Rodgers out at all. So I agree with Freddie.
Just so we're clear, David Bakhtiari is one of the highest paid offensive linemen in football, and he's injured this year. So they've invested on the offensive line. Corey Linsley, which is the center, left to the LA Chargers in the offseason. He was one of the highest rated centers in football last year. They've built pieces around him. Now, yes, they have faltered, but here's my question. If you're the baddest man on the planet, as Freddie likes to say, shouldn't that allow you to elevate receivers who aren't?
Joe, let me ask you a question.
No, there's no such thing as elevating receivers.
There's
you're good or you're not. No, it's no such thing.
That is no.
Who did Tom Brady win the Super Bowl with the Patriots?
Okay,
grocery boy on steroids.
Wait.
David Gibbons.
Wait.
David Gibbons.
Tom Brady has had 2 Pro Bowl tight ends at once, Hernandez and Gronkowski.
And what happened to him? He had him for what, 2-3 years?
Wait. Those are receiving targets on top of having dominant defenses with Pro Bowl secondary linebackers and D linemen.
Could it be because Tom Brady didn't sign a $43 million per year contract? Could it be that the salary cap was never right?
And these guys like this. Listen, so let's not use Tom Brady as an example because they've given him a lot, and then he came to Tampa Bay and they went and got more Pro Bowl targets.
Well, like
Aaron Rodgers has never had 2 Pro Bowl tight ends at once. He's never had more than one Pro Bowl receiver. I'm pretty sure Tom Brady had Welker and Moss.
No, that's not true.
Those guys was already good.
He at one point he had Donald Driver, he had Randall Cobb, he had Greg Jennings, he had Jordy Nelson.
Did you say Donald Driver and Randall Cobb?
And Jordy Nelson,
Moss and Welker, or compare them to Gronk and Hernandez.
Oh no! Don't get me wrong. The Patriots
we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Here's my issue though. The fact that it's not even like Aaron has been like just on the cusp of like the playoffs with these dudes. He last couple of years he's made the number 1, if not the top 3 seed, and he's taken them to the championship. He can do it. And like that. That's my biggest criticism is he can get them there, but then he doesn't finish.
But the blame can't go all on him.
He would have had a different outcome. Do you think he would have got to the Super Bowl these last 2 years, at least one of those years, with another receiver?
I think he would have got there last year, to be honest with you, if he didn't try to put it on the coaching. If he'd have tried to run the ball or make it audible from whatever the coach called, I think he would have made it last year for sure. I think if they would have had Justin Jefferson instead of Love sitting on the bench, I think it wouldn't even came down to that play.
They wouldn't have got Justin
Jefferson.
Yeah,
but hindsight's 2020.
Well, it doesn't matter. There was plenty of receivers last year that you could have got.
Oh, very much so. Very much so. But again, the fact that he didn't have it and he still took him to the NFC Championship. Though.
Wait, let me ask you a question. Then I'm gonna shut up. Anybody can answer this, right? For a first round pick, is it smart to pick someone that you're not even going to use for 3 or 4, 5 more years?
Do you mean like Aaron Rodgers when Brett Favre was playing?
Brett Favre had everything he needed, right? And plus Brett Favre was at retirement age, and he wasn't. He was not. He had threatened to retire 2 straight years in a row.
But that's only because Brett Favre didn't want to do.
He played 3 more years in Green Bay.
Right, and every year he didn't know if he was coming back.
Yeah,
and you're in the same situation right now.
Right, but drafting Aaron Rodgers and drafting Jordan Love is totally different.
Right. And it definitely is a mistake. I look at it like this. You have to take it from my perspective, and it's someone who I've been a part of a lot of teams. I've been a part of a lot of organizations. My biggest thing was always, and it's what I preach about Tom Brady. Tom Brady finally got his bag in Tampa. I'm proud of him. But throughout his entire career, the reason why Tom was so good at recruiting was because there was the money to recruit. Like, you got to look at it from that perspective. Like, they have a lot of money to be able to bring in these guys. Aaron is a big part of that cap. The other problem is that the front office is incompetent. I'm not saying that the front office isn't a problem, because the fact of the matter is Odell Beckham Jr. did not take that much money to go to the Rams, and he could have went to Green Bay. And whether that would have worked or not, it really doesn't matter. But it's the fact that you didn't get him is the problem. But the problem to me is I've never really seen Aaron Rodgers. We've seen Tom do it. We've seen Tom do some sneaky shit trying to bring guys into, whether it be New England or whether it be Tampa. I've never really seen Aaron try to recruit anybody from that level. And I know I'm not there behind the scenes seeing it, but you see a lot of guys openly say they want to play with people. You look at D-Hop saying, JJ Watt, come here. Like, we're coming. We're doing this. Let's finish what we started. I've never really seen Aaron go out of his way to make these changes or have conversations with a lot of free agents. Now, is that on him? No. But it's a part of it. And you need to be able to understand, if you want the money, you sacrifice depth. And that's the biggest problem. And it comes down to it at the end of the day. Look at the Kansas City Chiefs right now. Patrick Mahomes, you want $500 million? That's completely fine. Right now, it won't affect us. 3 to 5 years down the line, it's going to hurt. And if you already have the worst defense, it's just going to keep getting worse, because Tyreek Hill is going to get paid, Travis is going to get paid, and a bunch of other cats are going to get paid. So you got to look at it like that and say, if you want to win, you take that pay cut. Not that you have to, but you don't need to be a top 3 quarterback paid in this league. And that's just how I'm looking at it. If you're that age, he has signed a lot of extensions. If you're that age, don't do it.
Yeah, and like Joe even mentioned before, and even kind of mentioned in the chat, Tom never, whenever he did have a Pro Bowl wide receiver, whenever he did have Gronk, whenever he did have, he won with Gronk, but whenever he had a Pro Bowl wide receiver as well, whenever he had Moss, whenever he had Welker, Moss and Welker never won a Super Bowl with Brady. They'd go to the Super Bowl, but they never won. He actually won with guys that that aren't even close to those same leagues. He won with Edelman. He won with Gronk. He won with less like that. And again, I know Tom Brady is a terrible example, because again, Tom took the cut. And again, I think what Mike said, it comes back to the front office and the coaching being incompetent, because you think about it, once they won those first 3 Super Bowls, that's the culture in New England. They still have pretty much all the same pieces. They still got the same quarterback. They still got the same coach. It's a winning culture. Like, that's the problem with Green Bay is, you don't have this, hey, I'm going to take less money, but if you come here, we're going to compete for a championship or we're going to win. Aaron, and we've even seen it with the Seahawks, when did the Seahawks win their Super Bowls and go to the Super Bowls? When they were paying Russell Wilson essentially nothing. When did the Kansas City Chiefs go to the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl? When they were paying Patrick Mahomes absolutely nothing. So I mean, really, when you don't pay these players, which again, I get wanting to be the highest paid, but again, Tom has kind of set the standard. You don't have to take bare minimum, but you don't have to be the highest paid, and you can have money to go out and get a better defense, even if it's through free agency. You can have a better offense through free agency or the draft, whichever you want to put it.
I do want to address something that Mel said real quick, and then I'll drop this because I don't want to turn this into like a Patriots pod. But Mel, you said about drafting Jordan Love in the first round, and you could argue that Jordan Love was overdrafted and they trade up for him and it shouldn't have been done.
Oh, no doubt.
In the 2008 draft, the Patriots selected Kevin O'Connell, quarterback out of San Diego State, in the 3rd round, a 3rd-round pick. This is after the 2007 season with Tom Brady and the Patriots offense broke all kinds of records. In 2011, they took quarterback Ryan Mallett out of Arkansas in the 3rd round. In 2014, in the 2nd round, they took Jimmy Garoppolo. And in 2019, they took Jared Stidham in the 4th round. Now, right there, in the prime of the greatest of all time.
Joe, that's where you lose it. That's where you lose it. It doesn't matter if they drafted quarterbacks. It's where they drafted Jordan Love. They didn't draft. They could have waited to the 2nd and 3rd round. Why
didn't Green Bay wait to get Aaron Rodgers in the 2nd or 3rd round? He was a guy coming out of Cal who had bad mechanics, who had to sit behind Brett Favre for 3 years to learn how to be a competent NFL quarterback. Why didn't they wait to the 2nd or 3rd round? Why did they draft him at 25?
I just step back and I let y'all talk. Listen. They went to the what round? The divisional round 2 years in a row. This comes from a Super
And
Bowl.
lost.
Yes, they lost, Jonathan. We all know they lost. You went 2 years in a row, and then you go in the draft, and we clearly see that they're only a one-dimensional team. Exactly. They are a pass-first team. They have one receiver who gets all the targets, and they have other guys. They get the ball when they're open. And so instead of Green Bay going out there, so you know what, we're going to build on this team. We're going to help this team take the next step. What did they do? They drafted a quarterback to replace Aaron Rodgers.
No.
Yes, they did. Yes, that's exactly what they did. That's exactly what they did.
You draft,
and then they're telling him that you play football, you be a quarterback. We don't care who you think we should bring in. That's our job.
Freddie, the only thing Aaron Rodgers didn't really have around him was a strong running game. He had receivers. He had Jordan.
They had a running game. What receiver, Jonathan? Name them. When Tom Brady can have Mike Evans, Godwin, he can have Antonio Brown, Gronk. When Patrick Mahomes, who at the time had Tyreek Hill, who had Travis Kelce, and who had Sammy Watkins. Name one time.
Hold on. Would you rather have Aaron Jones or the running backs in Tampa? Would you rather have Aaron Jones or the running backs in Kansas City, including a first-round pick in Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who hasn't shown that he can stay on the field or be effective in goal line situations?
Joe, anybody can. That's the easy way out. What you just did. Would you rather Devontae Adams, Scantlin, and whatever his name, then Mike Evans, Godwin, Antonio Brown? Which one?
What round was Travis Kelce taken in?
I'm not talking about drafting them, Mike. You see, that's where you lost.
No, you're talking about the first round.
Mike, no. They had opportunities drafting wide receivers many times. There's a horrible franchise, and Aaron Rodgers needs to get the hell up out of there because Green Bay don't know how to respect him.
And Green Bay doesn't respect him because maybe Green Bay knew that Aaron Rodgers was in it for himself, and they didn't want to get left holding the bag when Aaron Rodgers decided that either A, he didn't want to come in the offseason and work with receivers and running backs, or B, wouldn't do everything that was necessary to stay on the field and help the team. Maybe they knew that.
He still had years on his contract. What are you talking about?
Maybe they realized he's a diva.
Freddie,
maybe the organization knew that this guy could leave them at the altar at any second, and they didn't want to be left with their pants around their ankles.
Right. And
no, they didn't want to win.
And now, Freddie, how can you trust him? How can you trust him? He lied. He lied about being vaccinated. How can you even trust this guy?
That's way before they even came out. So that's very
right, but it's still an accurate statement. But Freddie, look at it like this: by taking, I'm not saying Jordan Love is good.
Tony, these guys are not going to see what me and Melvin is trying to prove.
Freddie, here's what I'm trying to say. I want you to see if you see where I'm coming from.
We don't.
When you lose Aaron Rodgers, eventually, whether that be him just wanting to be gone, say you don't take Jordan Love. To get another franchise quarterback, you can't just pick one up. Guys don't fall like that. You are going to have to be dog shit for at least a year or two before you find a quarterback you're comfortable with grooming. By getting Jordan Love and still having Aaron Rodgers is the same concept that they did with Brett Favre. Instead of taking that, Freddie, before you say a word, instead of taking that year gap of building a team, now when Rodgers does leave, you already have someone who's been in this offense, who understands this offense, that isn't a rookie that you can use and implement into that. So when Rodgers leaves and you do have a horrible season and you have a top 5 pick, you don't have to use it on a quarterback.
But Mike, at that time, Aaron Rodgers was not talking about leaving. So that goes up your point there.
But I didn't say
number 2, you do not go out and draft.
But I didn't say he
when
was.
When your team went to the divisional round 2 times, you don't do that. No.
Can we move on now?
Yep. Anyway,
you want a trophy for the divisional round?
We gonna talk about Freddie's other favorite thing to talk about.
Let me go first.
Jonathan's definitely going first. We're gonna talk about the Los Angeles Lakers and the fact that apparently their home is being renamed to whatever crypto. Whatever.
I don't care
Crypto.com.
I care about this team's performance and poor effort. That's what I care about.
So that's what we might do, Jonathan. What is really the Lakers' biggest issue right now as far as the season, how the season has started? Because it's not started the way that they want to, and they're close to being under 500 right now.
We go.
You really want the honest truth?
Let's hear it.
So this Lakers team is hot doo-doo roasted on an open fire.
Oh, here we go.
Okay? This team is a pathetic excuse for a basketball team. They're hot trash. They're garbage. They're not playing together. They're not gelling together. They have no chemistry. You know, they bought in Russell Westbrook in the offseason in a trade that's turning out to be a horrible trade. Yes, I know he stepped it up in recent games, but it's still not enough. The Lakers are losing ball games. I feel like, you know, Anthony Davis is doing his best to carry the load, but at some point you got to worry about his health because he has shown that he can't stay healthy for a full season.
Right. This was coming.
You know, it's true, Freddie.
Mute this man.
You need to listen and understand that this team is not ready to win a championship. They're not well constructed to win a championship. It's just a bunch of names on one team that's not gelling together, that's not clicking together, that's not winning ball games. You know, and yes, you say wait till Christmas time. Well, the fans have already seen enough. I'm impatient with this team. You know, Laker fans are calling me out now because I'm trying to tell the truth. Laker fans are blinded. You know, they're blind. They don't want to see reality. They don't want to face reality. They don't want to realize that their team's in a world of trouble. They're in denial about it. They need to wake up. The Lakers are losing to everyone they play. They just lost to the Bucks. They lost to the Bulls. They lost twice to OKC, a team they should have beat both times. They blew the lead. They blew the leads in both of those games. That's another problem. They're having trouble closing out quarters. They can't finish strong. They get too complacent. They get lackadaisical. It's a mess right now. It's an utter disaster. It's hard to watch. There's nights that I don't even want to turn on the Laker game because it's so damn predictable. You almost know what's coming every night. A damn loss from a team that should be winning more games. And don't give me excuses about LeBron being injured because there's more than enough talent on this team to carry the load without LeBron. And you know, that's another thing as well. You have to be worried about LeBron James because this is a guy who's not fully healthy himself. And the question with him, will he be able to stay fully healthy? There's nights when he is healthy. He's passive. He's less aggressive. You know, I think sometimes he came to LA to play ball with Bugs Bunny and not the Lakers. You know, so I mean, this is
here we go.
For a team that's vulnerable, beatable, and not playing their best basketball. And that's all I have to say about it.
Hell yeah, go Bulls.
We gonna go with Mel next because Mel didn't really get a chance to talk as far as the last topic goes. So Mel, what you guys say?
Hey, I tried asking Mel questions, but Freddie kept answering, man.
Because you was being delusional, Mike.
I wasn't talking to you though.
Who's your team by chance? Because I think this is the first time you and I have ever met. Who's your NFL and NBA teams?
Who are you talking to me?
Yep.
Oh, that's a long story. I don't. I'm not a fan of any team.
You're a player guy.
Maybe I have a chance to explain that later. But
true objective standpoint, then. So what do you think of the Lakers so far, then?
I agree with much of what he said. They don't play good basketball and they're not constructed well enough to be a contender. They're just not. They got more problems than they can fix this season. I think they're probably going to try to make a trade before the deadline. I don't think they can move Russ, which is what everybody keeps talking about, move Russ, but Russ just got too much money left on his contract. I don't think you'll find another team that'll do that. So they're gonna be stuck with Russ. And of course, you're not going to pay a guy that much money and not play him, so he's going to be on the court and he's going to average the most turnovers in the league, and that's going to be a thing moving forward. That's just what it is. LeBron plays a style of basketball that's better suited for a person that's 28, 30 years old. He can't rely on getting to the hole and getting to the paint for 82 straight games plus playoffs, and that's why you keep getting these injuries. And the only season he was able to get through was the season they had a 4-month layoff before the bubble. So besides that, LeBron is going to keep getting nicked up because he don't have the type of game that MJ had when he was 36, where he could get 30 points without even getting to the rim. I could just get mid-range jump shots, take 2 dribbles, pull up, things like that, gets the free throw line, and be above 83% at the free throw line. Like LeBron doesn't have that. So now your leader is going to stay nicked up. He has a game that he can't sustain over a full season plus playoffs. Then you got a really bad point guard that don't take care of the ball, and AD is unreliable. Okay. You know, it's just not their year. It's not their year this year.
All right, I'm gonna go with the Sensei next, and then we'll let our other purple and gold fanatic go after the Sensei. But I'm gonna let Sensei school Freddie first.
Okay, so a few things. Jonathan, I really want you to relax, okay? And I know that, you know what I'm saying? I know that it's hard for you to do that. I know you're a diehard LA guy, and I get it. I understand. It makes all the sense in the world. A lot of the things that you did say are correct. There are a lot of inconsistencies with this team, but we also have to take a deep breath here for a second. Like, there's a lot of problems that the Lakers have, yes. But this is also an 82-game season. It is not the championship is not 1 in 16 games. It just isn't. And I mean, there's a lot of teams that start hot that cool off. There's a lot of teams that start cool and then they heat up. It just kind of just depends on the trajectory of the team. I think that a conversation does need to be had with Russ, maybe from LeBron, as far as like what he's been doing or what he's trying to do, because what he's trying to do and what we need him to do, they're not meeting in the middle. And I think that's the biggest issue that they're having, is that he's trying to still be the rest of OKC, and we don't really need him to be that. We have two other guys that can kind of carry that workload as well, but he has to have the self-awareness, which is a word that I use a lot with Russ because I feel like he lacks it, in order for him to understand that. As far as like LeBron being sustainable throughout the season, I don't think that's much of an issue as most probably would think, just because I know he is getting older. But I think that he's going to, I don't know. I think he's going to he's going to figure it out and understand that what he needs to be for this team. I think he's still trying to work through the kinks because this is a relatively new team. There's a lot of personalities on this team. There's a lot of different games and different aspects on this team. So I think he's still in the sense of trying to figure that out. But LeBron's enough of a basketball savant to figure that out. So once he does that, I think this team will be just fine. But I do think that they're going to push for a trade before the trade deadline as well, because there's something missing. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but there is something missing on this Lakers team.
And I don't think it's a quality shooter.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
But
we also have to consider this as well, is that we are missing a couple components as far as with our team. Like, our team isn't fully healthy either. So I would like to see, before I make a fair assessment, I would like to see this Lakers team fully constructed and fully healthy, playing all together, everybody, before I'm gonna press the panic button. Because right now, like I said, it's 16 games. It's very early in the season, so I'm not gonna sit up here and panic. Now, as far as the name change with the arena, I'm calling it Staples Center. I'm sorry, it's gonna be Staples Center unless they change it to Kobe's something that has to do with Kobe, then I'll reconsider. But it's always gonna be the Staples Center to me. That name is stupid. It doesn't make any sense. Like, I'm not understanding what the whole point of that is anyway. But
money.
That's just my personal.
$700 million over 10 years.
They made a lot of sense. A whole lot of sense.
That's why it makes sense.
Oh,
because of money.
Yeah, and that's the sense I'm talking about.
Exactly.
Is it my turn?
Well, yeah.
Yep, it is time for our other Laker fanatic.
Oh,
Freddie, hit me up like the rest of those sensitive Laker fans.
Freddie, go on.
Hey, right now.
Freddie, punch me in the face. Give me a good punch in the face. Like
I will say this: a crypto call right now, and they say, "Hey, Freddie, we want to change the network to crypto, all sports, all plays for $700 million." You best believe I'm gonna say, you guys, we changed the name because 700 billion reasons why they'll change.
We better get $1 too, and a
t-shirt. Hey, trust me, you get a lot more than $1. You get a lot more. But let me go to my whole situation here.
Go for it, big
Jonathan, pump the brakes. Calm down. Understand. I had to learn this because I was going off early in the season. I had to learn this. You
want to learn this.
We can't judge this team right now, Jonathan. We can't.
Coming from you, boy.
This team is not healthy. We don't see the complete deal. And you know what? I see a lot of great signs. I I see THT coming to himself. He's looking really good right now, Jonathan. Calm down. Carmelo Anthony won't be in the starting lineup coming this Friday. LeBron James will be back. You can't everybody pump the presses. I mean, everybody you have Coon, Stephen A. Smith coming on first take. Oh, right in the eulogy. Oh, LeBron James will never win a championships again. And he'll be all but right when the Lakers go on a winning streak. When the Lakers go on a winning streak, he'll be the main one. Oh, the Lakers are going to be the favorite. I mean, we see it every year. This is what they do. And so if we're going to go off about this 15 games, whatever how many 12, 13 games we're in, we might as well say the Washington Wizards the best team in the East. And that's no disrespect to them. You can't really judge much off of it, Jonathan, at all. We have to wait till about Christmas time. We will know what this team is about. Russ has not been he wasn't the problem tonight. He only had 3 turnovers. He played much better. I'm seeing great signs out of us, Jonathan. Tonight we played much better on the defense.
Westbrook doesn't do that consistently. He doesn't.
But Jonathan, we don't want to worry about when LeBron is back. Russ ain't gonna have the ball in his hand as much. LeBron's gonna have the ball in his hand, so we don't have to worry. We don't have to worry as much because I want one person I trust with the ball in the hand is LeBron James, and then you have to realize this. And one thing that I seen tonight, we can actually play. This team can play defense. This team isn't built for the regular season.
What? We kind of got dominated on the court tonight. We didn't have an answer for Giannis.
Well, that's okay.
They play defense.
But Freddie, the only thing is they gotta get through the regular season to the playoffs.
They do. And honestly, they do have to get through the regular season. But if they can at least get a 6th seed, then I'm okay with that.
Hold on. You okay with a 6th seed, and then you have to face a team like Phoenix in the first round again?
I mean, no, but
I am okay with that because I don't think that they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna catch the Warriors because the Warriors are 12-2. Like they're not cooling off anytime soon.
I'll be honest. I don't know if I'd want the 6th seed, and I definitely wouldn't want y'all to have to do a play-in tournament because if y'all have to do a play-in tournament, that's one more game that y'all have to go.
And that's
they barely won their play-in game last year against the Warriors.
I would rather
we are aiming. We're not aiming for the 1st seed. We're not aiming for the 2nd seed nor the 3rd. We're trying to be around 5 and 6. No, that's not bad.
That's sad.
That's not sad because we have higher goals for teams than the Chicago Bulls. We have goals about winning on a championship run. That's why, Mike, because we know it's not a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. We know that we're built for the playoffs. We're not a young team. We're going to have people like Jonathan that's going to be going off, but when they get to the championship, this is going to be going off. That's why.
Listen, but I'm just saying, if you're with this current Lakers team is an older team. So if they gunning hard for the 1st seed, by the time they get in the playoffs and it gets to the nitty gritty, they're gonna be burnt out from trying to work to get the 1st seed.
And whose fault is it for it being an old team?
So we're sorry that we like the Chicago Bulls, a young team. They can run and gun, and they just all they worry about is making a 2nd round damn in the damn playoff.
It's also Rob Pelinka's fault for allowing it.
I'm not devoiding him of blame.
You can also blame
I'm just
Sports
saying
as well.
I'm just saying with the way that the team
Jonathan, don't be a Clipper fan or something. I'm tired of it.
Hey Tony, can I go?
Yep, Mike, you're up, buddy.
Listen, I got one
Mike
follow.
is so
Hey, Sensei, my dog. She my friend. I rock with her.
Sure.
You know, Chicago forever. But the injury thing, get out. I don't like it. I don't like that excuse. And I tell you why. Patrick Williams, top 4 pick. One of the
he ain't no LeBron James, no Anthony Davis. I don't care.
Why are you talking?
That voted your debate. Start over.
Why are you talking?
Start over.
Anyway, I'm talking to
Freddie, let him talk, man.
So we lose Pat Will. It is what it is. You know, we're not a big team to begin with, but that's one of our best defenders. So that sucks. Then we lose our all-star. We lose Vooch. And we go on this West Coast trip. We don't have an all-star. And guess what? You might not have had Bron, but you had Dwight. You had AD. You had all these other
super all-star now?
Now, were you going to let me talk? And we still out-rebounded you. There's a lot more problems in this than just Bron's not healthy. That Kendrick Nunn is supposedly going to come back and be an all-star. You're talking about guys that don't matter that aren't healthy outside of LeBron James. Outside of LeBron, it doesn't matter what the rest look like because they're not going to be a big part of this nucleus. They're not going to be a big part of it down the stretch. I look at it as the Lakers from this perspective, and I tell it to Freddie every single time. I understand, well, your Chicago Bulls aren't relevant. Guess what? Peace your ass. Don't want to hear it.
They're not. They're just a second-round team, and then you're going to be happy because that's how because you haven't been relevant since Michael Jordan.
And you were a first-round exit.
But they look better than the Lakers this year.
Right, Jonathan's 12 games.
Were you or were you not a first-round exit? Were you or were you not a first-round exit?
But haven't we won a championship more recent than you? So carry the hell on.
And that's okay.
Tony, can I say something before we move on?
Though, Freddie? Here's the craziest part, though. You have a championship that's more recent than the Heat, than the Nets, than a lot of teams. That don't make you better than them. That's the
guess what? Guess what? I guess 12 games dictate who's winning the championship.
And
I guess that's what it is. I guess that's what it is.
Question.
That's what it is.
Question, Freddie. How many of those guys from the Lakers championship are currently on the team?
Exactly. Well, a couple.
None of them, except for a few.
No, that's not true. We got LeBron, got AD, got Dwight, Rondo, got Avery Bradley. That's about that's THT.
Three of those guys don't
that's half
matter.
of it. No, you just said how many people in that championship? That's half of the team.
And guess what? Your starting point guard is not irrelevant. Carmelo Anthony has never been battle tested in the finals, so I don't know why we're all Malik Monk, Kendrick Nunn, Taylor Horton.
But guess what? It does not matter because you know what? LeBron, AD, and Russ makes them better. So you know what, Mike? Carry the hell on.
Russ make them better? In what way? Leading the league in steals?
I mean, you can sit up here and try to hate all you want, but that's all it is. I'm not letting you get under my skin because you're a Chicago Bulls fan, and like I said, you haven't done a damn thing since Michael Jordan been there. You haven't done nothing since Michael Jordan been in the league.
And you say that, but
carry the hell on. So you can carry the hell on.
Where you're coming from, because you can say whatever you want, and Jonathan's one of those guys. He's one of the greatest Lakers fans out there.
No, Jonathan let you guys come in here and pump his head up.
Not at all. Not at all.
That's true. That is true. Because Jonathan was on a whole different tape before y'all pumping his head up.
You let every single Laker.
Y'all let Jonathan pump. Y'all pump Jonathan's head up.
No, we let Jonathan start the tape. We let Jonathan start the topic.
Jonathan, no. This last year, y'all didn't pump Jonathan's head up, and Jonathan, he changed his tape. Go for a year ago to now. He wasn't talking the way he's talking now.
Can I make a point? Look, the Lakers pushed all their chips to the table, right? This offseason to acquire Russell Westbrook.
Not all the chips.
And look how better the Washington
Wizards they didn't put
are
every
playing.
chip.
Look how much better the Washington Wizards are playing, and look how lousy the Lakers are playing.
I didn't do that.
I mean, look how terrible the Lakers are. This is turning out to be a bad trade, and I'm not pushing the narrative that Russell Westbrook is a cancer in the locker room because that's not true. I don't think he is.
I think he's a cancer on the court.
He
12 games.
Not Freddie. Look, 1 sec, Jonathan. Not
12 games. Dictate that.
Numbers.
His whole
those eye-popping numbers are not, delivering victories.
No.
Plain and simple. Plain and simple.
Go ahead, Jonathan. It's actually 16, Freddie, but that's neither here nor there.
Wow. 4 more games.
Hold on. No, wait. Here's the biggest problem that the LA Lakers have.
Like a fanboy.
This is the biggest issue.
You let these guys pump your head up.
Hold on, Freddie. I'm holding an intervention for you here. I want you to understand this. This is your biggest problem. This is for Mel. This is for Sensei. This is for Freddie. The league is built on stars, right? Everybody talks about the NBA being built on stars, much like the superhero franchises we see now, whether it's the Justice League or whether it's the Avengers. Here's the problem. LeBron is Batman. He's Superman. He's one of the top of the top right there. The problem is right now is you have Russell Westbrook thinking he's Superman when in actuality he's Robin. And when Robin drives the Batmobile, guess what happens? Guess what happened?
That's the problem. There hasn't been a problem in LA, so that's false.
That man Alfred. That man.
Okay,
but
he might be. No, he ain't even Alfred.
Anthony Davis is not Superman. He can have all the physical gifts. He is not. He is not. I'm sorry. I am a snob. There are superstars in the league. Anthony Davis is not one of those guys. He just isn't. You know why? Because listen, what guys can win a title by themselves? LeBron can win a title by himself. Right?
Have we ever seen that before? Have we?
No.
What?
There's nobody can win it by himself. Nobody.
No.
As the number one alpha star.
Yes,
No.
LeBron's the number one alpha star. Yes, but he can't win.
Was Anthony Davis the number one alpha
Yes,
star?
yeah, he's right. He's right. Yeah, he's right. He's right.
I can say that on that championship run, we depended on AD. Yes, I can say that.
If LeBron James wasn't there with AD, does AD carry them to that title?
Well, if Dwayne Wade wasn't with LeBron James, would the Heat still win that championship? No.
And you could argue that Dwayne Wade was more of a superstar than AD.
No, I didn't say that. But I'm saying that there's no superstar in the NBA history have won a championship by themselves. Nobody.
Okay, so who did Michael Jordan win with?
Listen. The biggest problem that LA is suffering right now is when Batman is not part of the Justice League, they're not really the Justice League. When Superman is not part of the Justice League, they're not really the Justice League. And LeBron James, at this point, cannot be considered the guy that you have to build around. He can't. He's 38 years old. What are you doing?
Since when did age come into factor playing basketball?
It does.
When does age? Hold on, wait.
Can I say one thing?
Did you just ask when has age been a problem with basketball?
Father time is undefeated, my friend.
Absolutely.
Do you think LeBron James is as good of a basketball player at 37 as he was at 27?
This is so
hell no.
No, but you haven't seen that much of a drop off. There's been drop off, but you haven't seen much. Not much, no.
Since he came to LA.
So Freddie, here's my question.
What Laker games are you watching?
Freddie, what's the difference between the 32% three-point shooter and the 37% free throw shooter? Because that's only 5%. That's not that much. It's only a little bit of a drop-off. What's the difference?
Joe, like I said, we haven't seen much of a drop-off from LeBron. There has been drop-off, but it haven't been like no dramatic drop-off.
It wasn't like crazy to me that every single Lakers fan got their point out. And when I said something, he's mad that my Bulls busted him, and he brought up my Bulls. I'm just confused. I never even got my point. And I definitely agree. I definitely agree with my man at the top. Here's the problem.
Oh, he's probably butthurt because Lonzo Ball, the former Laker, balled him up.
No, Jonathan, no. I just don't let everybody on this panel pump my head up and make
it's true. Freddie, it's true. Lonzo
you let
Ball
them
lit up the Lakers like a Christmas tree.
No, what?
Like a Christmas tree lighting, okay?
Their championship there.
Man, bro. All I'm trying to tell him is why the Bucks look so good, and it's the same Batman, Robin, Superman concept. Is you can have Batman and Superman. You can have Wade and Bron, but Bosh needs to be that guy who understands. I am Robin. Bosh understood. I am going to take a step back.
That's a fact.
Kevin Love understood. He needed to take a step back. Russell Westbrook is trying
doesn't
to
understand that, and that's what
that's not true. That's not true at all.
Yes, it is. It's 100% true.
Because you know what's not true? Yes, Russ came in. He came in this season.
He's killing the chemistry.
He said, "Okay, I'll be that role." But what happened? Bron got hurt. So guess what? Russ was his spot on that pole. He had to go up. So guess what? Until Bron comes get back healthy, then we can see Russell Westbrook knows role. This team has not been healthy.
Hold on. Let me try. Hold on. Let me chime in real quick. All right. So here's the thing, right? Mike can attest, because me and Mike talk about this all the time. What is the biggest statement that I always say with Russ is self-awareness. It's self-awareness. Russ is not self-aware. That's the issue right there. That's why I said a conversation needs to be had with Russ, because he's not self-aware enough to know you don't have to do everything. You don't have to be the guy. You don't have to be OKC Russ. We don't need that. We need you to be Robin. Like Mike said, he has to be Robin. He cannot be Superman. He's not good at being Superman. He's too inefficient to be Superman. So it's
we had no choice, Elena, because Bron has been hurt.
That's just what it is.
No, Bron has been hurt. So he had no choice to know his role.
No one knows their role on this Laker team.
Because when Bron was healthy, Westbrook was required to LeBron.
And then you have
Westbrook still trying to be
No, Westbrook was being too passive. He was being way too passive when LeBron was on the court.
And Freddie
wasn't.
Yes, he was. Elena, go watch those games.
Oh my God.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was. Go watch those games.
Anyway, can
I say something real quick? Freddie,
Mel's been waiting for a good minute. Let Mel say what he got to say, and then I'll let you go, Jonathan.
Okay. So look, it's a lot of truth that's coming out, but none of it is 100% true. I think it's a little bit half and half. So Russ does have an issue. It's not that he don't mentally understand that he need to fall back. It's just that he don't have the type of game that allows him to fall back. He don't have nothing. He don't have nothing else to offer. He's not a defender. He's not a shooter. He can't do anything off the ball. The only thing he has to offer the Lakers is going to the rim 100 miles per hour and trying to get a bucket or trying to dish it out to a shooter. And that's the same thing that LeBron gives. So you got two players that really does the same thing. One don't complement the other. And if you ask Westbrook to scale his game back and try to get others involved, then you're asking him to be Rondo. And then that makes Russell Westbrook expendable because you already have Rondo.
Right.
I just say this: when we win the chip, if we win the chip, I just can't wait to have this moment. I really can't. If we do,
I love how now.
Frank Vogel's
What if I win the
substitutions
chip?
are questionable too.
What if I win the chip?
That too. Why in the hell are you putting Rajon Rondo and
What if
Russell
I win the
Westbrook in
chip?
game at the
Why
same
not
time?
me?
Why the hell are you doing that?
it's to open up Russ, Jonathan.
You don't
it's
put
open
that
up
should
Russ.
never happen, Freddie.
It's to open
That
up
should
Russ,
never
Jonathan.
You don't open
No.
up Russ.
Hey, Mike.
Open up Russ. That's ridiculous. Those two don't even complement each other.
I have
not
one
a winning
question,
game.
Freddie. Sorry,
They
this will
don't
be the
make
last
any
question
damn
I have.
sense.
Freddie, if the Lakers were 16-2, would you be super excited, or would you just say, or 14-2? Hey man, it's 16 games. I'm not stressing about it. We're not. The
I
best
know
team.
16 games in the season don't tell me who winning the championship.
If they were
I know that.
Lakers,
he would say LeBron James is still the GOAT.
If your Lakers were with LeBron missing, if Russ takes over, AD's playing great.
No,
Absolutely.
Atlanta, you don't know what the hell I would do. So stay in your lane.
I'm gonna tell you what I'm about to do. I'm leaving.
You actually would.
Freddie, this is not
Bye,
a troll
Mike.
question. This is not a troll question. I'm asking honestly.
You know what I was saying?
Please tell me.
I will still say that it's too early to find out who's the champion. I would be happy that my Lakers are winning. Yes, I would. But I wouldn't go and say, oh, we're winning the championship. No, I would come out and say that it's still too early because 16 games don't tell me nothing. We got to wait till Christmas till we can see where these teams are at. Because by this judgment, we might as well say the Washington Wizards are going to win the championship, going to the finals. I mean, we might as well say Cleveland Cavaliers going to be a top 4 team.
Might as well say the Washington Wizards won that trade. That's what you.
We can't say that yet. Neither. It's too early.
You definitely can. They got off their salary hit. Yeah, Washington won that trade.
Well,
but if Russ come in and win a championship, then we can say the Lakers won. They accomplished the goal. It's too early.
It's 16. It's 16
Don't
games
become a Clipper fan. You down in California, be a Clipper fan. That's what you acting like right now.
I'm just telling the facts, Freddie.
Jonathan, go be a Clipper fan. Go be a Clipper fan.
He has not put aside his ego. He's still the same Russell Westbrook that he was in OKC.
Jonathan,
the Rockets.
go be a Clipper fan, my brother. Go be a Clipper fan.
Why are you berating your fellow Lakers?
You sound like one right now.
Why are you berating your fellow Lakers?
You're talking just like the rest of the Laker fans that's coming at me on social
media. No, Jonathan, you sounded like
Stephen
A. Smith. You sound like Stephen A. Smith this morning. LeBron James, his championship run is over. This Laker team is done.
No, he never said that.
That's what you sound like right now.
He never said that.
Yes, he did say that.
No, he did not. He never said
that.
Go
watch the show.
Just like
no,
them
Jonathan
other
did say
Laker
that.
fans that come at me on social media.
No,
y'all Laker fans are something else. I'm a Laker fan too, but I separate myself from the rest of the crowd because some of y'all are just so delusional and so sensitive.
As bad as an analyst as Stephen A. is, this was one time when he was right. LeBron James' championship runs has been over. The only thing that saved him before was the bubble. If it wasn't for that bubble, him or AD wasn't making it out of that season healthy, and they would have the same thing that happened last year would have happened 2 years ago.
And Russell, I disagree with that.
I disagree with that.
He ain't winning.
I disagree with that 100% too.
No, I don't because
even the arena name can't make the Lakers season better.
Because
even the arena change.
How can you say that and you don't with all seasons goes on? I mean, stop it.
That's because you got to think about it. He had a 4-month break. Look, even
I don't think he gets healthy then. I mean,
here's my thing though. I don't completely discredit the fact that the Lakers only won because of the bubble. I'm saying the fact that it did help them because
It did. How?
everybody started on the same platform.
Tony, can I ask you a question?
No, hold on a second. Let me finish.
Oh, so I can't ask you a question, but you could ask me a question. Okay.
I said let me finish, and then you can ask. Here's my thing. If essentially the way that they did it, when you restarted with the bubble, right? Everybody started on a clean slate. We're going to play a few games and we're going to start the tournament. That would be no different than, okay, we're going to start the NBA season in October, and then pretty much we're going to figure out by November what the championship is going to be, because everybody has an equal amount of time to rest. Everybody's on an equal playing field. That is the only difference as far as that actually making that work. And it did help him because he managed to get the rest like everybody else, and then they were able to pick up where they left off. What you got, Freddie?
So before the season stopped, who was playing the best basketball at the time?
Oh, before the bubble stopped?
Yeah,
them.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
Again, here's the thing. I don't see why you're taking this as an offensive thing, because the fact that the bubble did help them. The bubble was not the only reason they won, but it did help them.
They used the benefit that everybody got to the best of their ability.
There was no travel.
I think the issue is that everybody's saying that the reason why the issue that they're saying is that the reason why they won is because he got the rest, or that he would have gotten injured if they didn't get the 4-month rest. Like Freddie said, the trajectory of how the season was going, the Lakers were playing the best basketball, so they still, to me, would have won a chance. We can't say he probably would have got hurt. We don't know that for sure. Like, that's a what if.
Exactly.
We can't base that off of a what if. The fact of the matter is, he was fully and completely healthy, and he was playing his best basketball. That was before everything slowed down.
In the MVP race, sis.
Further, the season after that was a 2.5, maybe 3 months layoff, and you expect a 36-year-old to be fully healthy in a season after he just played all? Like, come on, man. Like, let's.
Hey, Elena, he was healthy until a grown man rolled his ankle. It wasn't because of no soft tissue. A grown man rolled over his ankle.
Now, see,
everything that happened in the bubble was a fluke. The Lakers winning the championship, Miami Heat getting to the finals, and T.J. Warren being the best player in the bubble. All that was a fluke.
Now, so was it a fluke this year when Milwaukee was going against the Phoenix Suns? Did you call that a fluke too, Melvin?
Everything in the bubble was a fluke.
No, I'm talking about this year. I'm talking about this year.
Everything that happened in the bubble.
Nobody in their right mind thought that T.J. Warren was the best player in the league. Let's cut that out.
And nobody in their right mind thought that the Lakers would make it to the finals with an 82-game season plus playoffs.
And like
Yes,
and like Elena said,
what are you talking about?
Like he could have kept going, and we don't know. Maybe he would have gotten hurt, maybe not. But like Elena said, when the new season started, the fact that you had to have that only like a couple month break in between, a 36-year-old can't do that. It's the same thing. He has to play all those games. He has to go through all the wear and tear continuously. He doesn't get the break in between. If anything, it does help.
I'm kind of on Tony's side with this about this. Hey, the bubble did help, but I can't go as far and say that everything that happened was a fluke.
No, not at all.
Yeah,
because again, at the end of the day, the Lakers still had to play, and the Lakers played the best out of everybody in the bubble. Like at the end of the day, the Lakers still had to show up and be the Lakers. I ain't denying that at all. But you can't sit here and tell me the bubble did not help a 36-year-old MVP player. You can't tell me it didn't.
They did.
Again, they took a situation where every team got the benefit. They just used it to the best of their abilities.
Yep.
And which makes sense why when everyone was teeter-tottering between what was going on with George Floyd at the time, should we go to the bubble or not? The Lakers and LeBron was like,
I'm not going to sit here and say that's the sole reason why they won.
This is our best opportunity, and this is a great opportunity.
Nah, man. And then you got to realize, Elena, what else was that Laker team had on their heart? The tragedy of Kobe Bryant. They was motivated.
Nonetheless, they used the bubble to their advantage. I don't know why you're denying that.
Yeah.
No, they did, but what I'm saying is, this is what I'm saying. I'm not sure exactly where Freddie is with this, but what I'm saying is that they used it as an advantage. I'm not going to go so far as to say, well, if it wasn't for the bubble, they wouldn't have won the championship.
Exactly.
I believe that they still would have won the championship, because at the end of the day, before everything happened, they were playing the best basketball.
They beat the Clippers on the Friday and the Bucks on the Sunday. I remember
a top team in the West, and their trajectory was only going up. Like they weren't gonna lesser. So we can't base it off of what is.
And
how many games into the season was that?
Look,
how many games into the season did that season?
That was damn near, well, because
it was almost in April.
That was
they
before the
stopped
All-Star
playing in
break.
what, February?
That was before
Yeah.
the
They
All-Star
stopped playing
break.
like
February,
top of
March.
February. So
So-
it was a good enough assessment enough to know what kind of season it was going to be.
Okay, so 20% of the season isn't enough to judge it, but 45% of the season is enough to judge it. Is that what
It was
we're
a little bit
45 is so 45 is a lot bigger number than 20. Let's not.
And we're not even the 20 games in yet. We're only like 14, 15, 16.
We're at 16, literally.
Yeah, 16. So it's not at 20 yet neither. So
All right,
So
we'll
what's
see
the,
what
what's the
happens.
next topic? What's the next?
We'll,
topic?
we'll see what happens.
We'll be on this all day.
Yeah, we will. We'll definitely be on this all day. Anyway, well, speaking of NBA, because we'll keep it there, and the Warriors
Last
being
topic for
12.
me, guys, and I gotta go.
Okay, see you, Jonathan.
All right, John.
No,
So-
no, last topic. I could do this one. Well, Freddie's
Oh, okay.
trying to kick me off now because
I know.
they was the one to say bye, not me.
Freddie
Well, you
can't
said-
take the heat.
I thought he said-
So-
I thought he was leaving, but go ahead.
So anyway, the Warriors are 12-2 right now, and I don't know if anybody else expected the Warriors to be 12-2 and be as high powered as they were. Jonathan probably did. Do y'all think that the Warriors are going to be back as far as being more of a presence in the playoffs? I ain't gonna say that they're obviously the favorites like they used to be, but do you guys think that the Warriors are now more of a threat than what they were a couple years ago when they first lost Clay?
Yes, I talked about this morning. I don't know if you guys saw the video. I did a hot take on this on my fan page, and I talked about this. Look, the Warriors have one of the purest shooters in the NBA, Steph Curry. He dropped 37 points in an impressive win yesterday, a convincing win over the Brooklyn Nets. I know the Brooklyn Nets have kind of struggled playing teams that are 500, but still, you have to take this Warriors team very seriously. And then what they're doing on the defensive side of the ball too. Draymond Green particularly holding Kevin Durant to a season low 19 points last night, which was very impressive as well. So this Warriors team right now, they look like the best team in all of basketball. You can't sleep on this team. And the one big thing too as well is that the Warriors are doing this without Klay Thompson. They're doing this without Klay Thompson. So if you plug Klay Thompson into this offense, you got a more dangerous Warriors team to worry about going forward into the season. So I think the Warriors are definitely a threat in the Western Conference. I think they're a team to be reckoned with, and they're definitely an unstoppable force when they get out and run and when they create turnovers. When they create turnovers, that allows them to get out and run. They like to get out and run, and when they're getting out and running, they're very explosive, and they are a very hard team to beat.
Okay. Who wants to go next?
Yeah, the Warriors are legit. They play good basketball. They're well coached. They play defense. They play a team-oriented game, and they have a superstar that plays a style of play that allows other players to be them and give 100% of themselves. The difference between what the Warriors do and what you have to do when you play in the LeBron-like system or Westbrook system is that the only person that is using 100% of their abilities, right? The only person that's using 100% of their abilities on that court is the star and the co-star for whoever is on the LeBron team. Everyone else is just standing around waiting for a pass to come from one of the superstars. And it's just a horrible way to play basketball. And it's beautiful when you watch the Warriors, and it's very hard to guard, and it translates to the playoffs, and it becomes problematic for a lot of teams, especially teams that that can't keep up with the type of points that they can put up in bunches. So yeah, the Warriors are the real deal.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go. And before I say what I say, there's 16 games in the season. Just want that to be said out there. And number two, I want to say this. Steph Curry reminded Kevin Durant who the hell he is and showed him that, hey, you made the wrong mistake. You chose the wrong team. You forgot who we are. Because, Steph Curry just came out there balling. Don't know where James Harden is, but KD left the arena yesterday calling Kyrie Irving, say, hey, you got that shot yet? Because, yeah. But let me say this,
Hey, Freddie, did KD learn? Did KD go for treatment too, or was that just a LeBron thing?
Let me finish I was going to my little topic.
Bye, everyone. I'm out.
Oh, bye, Jonathan. Don't go get fed in your head again for Friday.
Boy, please, I'm going to In-N-Out and get me something to eat.
Oh, you about to get fed some nonsense, and we're gonna hear about it Friday.
Bye, Freddie. Bye.
Bye, Jonathan.
Bye, Jonathan.
See y'all later.
Hey, I would say this Warriors team, they are a young team. Steph Curry is playing unbelievable right now. Jordan Poole is being, you can finally see a lot of these younger players, elevating their game, their style of the way Steve Kerr wants them playing. Like Melvin said, pass first team. Steph running around screens, getting open. Draymond Green is orchestrating the offense. I'm playing good at defense as well. This team is just gelling on all ends, and they're also doing it on the defensive end as well. That what makes the calls, and makes them a lot better. But hey, they're a good team. I mean, they'll make it to the playoffs. I'm not going to say they're the best team in the West because it's 16 games in, and we just can't say that. Not right now.
Okay. I
mean, you can't say who the best team is so far.
No, we can't say who's going to come out the West right now.
No, you can't. I mean, you
that's what I'm talking about.
If you want to project, you can. But I'm just saying, like,
yeah, but we know it can change in the next 20 games, or it can change by All-Star break and stuff like that.
But is anybody playing better basketball than the Warriors right now?
I would say the Phoenix Suns. They're 10-3. They look good.
They're on a 9-game winning streak too,
and they playing better basketball than the Warriors.
I can say just right up there. They went on
I know you can say, but are they playing better basketball?
Will you though? Will you say?
Yeah,
they're just. I put them right up there with the Warriors right now.
Okay, and then who else is there out of the West that's playing as good as basketball as Phoenix Suns and the Warriors?
I'd say really nobody.
Nobody. And then guess what? Clay and James Wiseman comes back in a month.
But we don't know what Clay we getting back. Let's be honest. Like this not no Kevin Durant.
Can he still shoot?
This is not the Kevin, but Klay Thompson game is just more than a shooter. He was their best perimeter defender, and we don't. And you have to have some kind of athleticism when you're talking about defense.
He don't have to do that. Wiggins is now their best perimeter defender.
Okay, well we'll see.
And plus, you never know
two major injuries.
The fact that Clay was hurt, and the fact that he has been out there, it's not like they're going to be like, all right, Clay, you the starter again, full 60 minutes, go. No, they're going to work him in. It's going to take time because again, that's a big injury. Now, am I going to sit here and say that Clay going to come in and drop 20 points his first night? Maybe, probably not. But I mean, we can't.
No, I can see him dropping 20. Honestly, knock down 4 or 5 threes.
Right, but we can't just completely discredit the fact that yes, Clay was injured, but he's not a Kevin Durant. He's not going to bounce back like it's no issue. We don't know. This is the first time we've ever.
The difference is this is the 2 big injuries back to back.
Mm-hmm. It is, but again, we've seen worse players come. We've seen players come back from worse injuries before and make it work. I mean,
these are the 2 of the worst ones.
I think.
I never said they weren't, but again, because I mean, you got to think about how much sports medicine has changed. You look at Adrian Peterson, the dude tore every tendon in his knee, was back in a year, and then had the NFL rushing title that same year. So I mean, the medicine that sports athletes have available to them now and use. I mean, heck, we've seen dudes come back in the same season from like a ACL tear or an ACL strain or anything like that. I mean, hey, look at Tom Brady playing the Super Bowl with a flipping torn MCL or whatever. So I mean, it is possible.
And look at LeBron James hold up as long as he have.
I will say,
chill out.
Right, I know. Y'all got bring it back to LeBron. I don't know if Alana saw it earlier or not. I'm gonna just start calling Freddie LeBron James Jr. LBJJ because of how much he loves LeBron James. LB double J, my bad. LB double J.
That's hilarious.
See, you got the Lakers hat faster. You got your Giants hat, but
that's because he had to go buy the Giants hat.
No, I've had this one.
Yeah, he had to Amazon Prime that one to make sure.
I've had it for 2 years now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I got a question for Mel. Who's your favorite player in the NBA?
Favorite player?
Currently, right now? Because I know you said your player's guy, not a team guy.
I mean, I got a lot of them. Whoever is highly skilled is where I go to. So Steph, KD, Kyrie, I mean, it's a bunch of them. But I start with those Steph, Clay. I mean, Steph,
Okay.
KD,
that answers my question. That's all I needed to know.
I was getting ready to ask who's your top 5 NBA players right now, like for this season right now. Who's your top 5?
Oh, who I think top 5? Let's go with KD, Steph, Giannis, LeBron. Is that 4? That's 4. Who's 5? 5 could be Embiid. It could be.
You just a hater.
What?
I said LeBron at 4.
I said Bron at 4.
And that's respect because Bron's been out for a minute. Like, come on, Freddie, you can't. Come on.
I'm not talking about that. I'm gonna wait till he stays top 5. Number 5.
Yeah, 5 could be Embiid. That could be Dame. It could be a lot of people.
Dame, who's having a bad year this year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Over Anthony Davis?
Oh my God!
This is the same person. This is the same person who had Tim Duncan over Michael Jordan.
This is the same person.
Nate, if you go watch it, I was being sarcastic.
Yeah, he just did that out of spite.
I think that the Warriors are definitely in contention.
I'm still
gonna
tease him about that though.
I think they definitely are in contention right now. They definitely look impressive. They are 12-2, and then they got 2 major components of their team coming back. So that's always going to be a positive for them. I think it is too early to say that they're going to come out of the West as of right now, but they are playing the best basketball right now. But what interested me the most, or more, I guess, with the Warriors and Nets game is, do you think KD regrets going to the Nets? Do you think he regrets leaving, go to State and going to the Nets, especially with how everything has gone with Kyrie and James Harden, and just how they haven't been as successful as people thought when they first got together?
No, you don't regret when you stand on your own 2 nuts and make a decision. Because remember, the same people that are saying, and people like Stephen A. Smith, the same people that are saying he should regret the move was also saying it was a weak move for him to even go to Golden State, and then they were saying he needs to leave Golden State. So I don't like for people to get on the media and okay, what's the talking point that's going to get a lot of clicks, and then they just be so inconsistent because you can't talk out of both sides of your mouth and say he needs to leave Golden State. It was weak for him to go there, and then say you made a bad move by leaving. That's just the dumbest thing in the world, man. He don't regret it at all. He's playing with someone that he picked, Kyrie and Harden, and he wanted to play with them, and they're gonna try to make it work. He can't look back and be like, oh man, well, they playing good too. Maybe I shouldn't have left. Nah, that don't make no sense.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm kind of torn on it because I kind of agree with what Mel is saying. I don't agree with the fact that people say that he regrets it or even should. I think with the core that the Warriors had as far as that championship mentality and the fact that those pieces were already there, set up and established, I think he left a really good system, which I don't think was exactly a good fit. But like Mel said, he went to a place that he wanted to go to. He's playing with a guy that he wanted to play with in Kyrie. They brought in James Harden. I think the biggest reason people are trying to throw out the fact that if KD regrets it or not is because Kyrie is not there. And it's because the whole vaccine thing. If Kyrie is there, I think this is a different conversation, but this would also be a different Nets team too. So I don't think KD regrets it. I think KD going to the Warriors, a lot of people call it a cop-out move. A lot of people say they shouldn't. To me, again, and a lot of you and Freddie might be mad at me about this. I kind of picture it how it was with LeBron. He needed to go to Miami to learn how to win a championship, to get that winning formula, to know what he needed. Whether y'all want to admit that or not, it's entirely up to you.
No, I admit it. You're right.
No, he learned from D-Wade. D-Wade taught LeBron how to win.
Yeah, okay. I just want to make sure we're good.
I agree with KD. Yeah, Steph. Yeah, I agree.
I think that's what KD needed. KD was like, okay, what is the formula? What is the system of how to get in the finals, how to get through it, how to finish, how to execute more than anything. And I think that's what KD needed to learn. He got a couple rings. He's like, all right, this isn't like a one-time fluke. We did this twice. All right, I'm going to take my talents elsewhere. I know y'all still going to probably be a thing. Unfortunately for them, it ended up also being kind of the end of the Warriors for a couple years there because of injuries. So no, I don't think KD regrets it. I don't think he should either.
No, real quick, another thing. I listened to a couple of podcasts that KD was on while he was rehabbing, and they asked him about the Warriors, and he said, "I looked at the situation, and I seen that Steph was up for his contract, so was Clay and Draymond, or Steph and Draymond was one of them, and for them to keep KD, Draymond would have had to go."
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So he looked at it and was like, man, we all can win and get our max contract. And that's what happened. Clay, Draymond, Steph, they all got max deals. And then KD left and got his max deal. That's a win-win. Him and Draymond are still good friends. So, he thought about that as well. So this team wouldn't even be the same if KD would have stayed. It just would have been KD, Steph, maybe Clay.
Yeah, and who knows if that combination would have even worked.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I just wanted to know. I just was being devil's advocate a little bit.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that's pretty much all the topics we got, unless we want to do a real quick NFL topic again, since it is potentially going to be coming up, especially towards the end of the season. If Russell Wilson decides to leave the Seahawks, who is going to win in that divorce? Or if Russ leaves at all?
I think it's
gonna lose,
right?
Yeah, I think it's time. I think this is it. This is gonna be the last run. Russ is looking at his division like, man, the Rams are making improvement. The Cardinals, but we're still, we've been the same old team. For like this for the last couple of years. Offensive line haven't got better. The defense still suspect. We're just the same team. I think Sierra wants out of Seattle. I mean, she's like, okay, all right, Russ, we've been here for a while. Kind of want to be on the the West Coast where California is, or even New York. So I mean, I can see a couple. I mean, there's a couple scenarios out there, but the question is, where would he land? And hey, if I'm the New York Giants, my team, it's probably time to move on from Saquon Barkley. Hey, you tell Seattle, we'll give you Saquon. A good draft pick. If Russell forces his way out, that's a good trade offer. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of options where you can go. You can even go with the the Miami Dolphins, but we don't know where the Deshaun Watson deal is on that as well. We don't know how that, because I mean, obviously we heard reports during the trade deadline that hey, they was ready to pull the trigger, but with his legal cases and stuff like that, kind of halted. But we don't know how they feel about that now. So I mean, it's a lot of questions. Where Russell Wilson could go. Washington, is a good spot, but I don't know if Sierra want to go to, Washington. So, I mean, I don't know.
You gonna give up Barkley and Danny Dimes for Russ?
Well, I'm not gonna say Danny Dimes. We'll keep him as a backup, but I mean, it's to a point where
if you don't get the hell on with that, Danny Dimes can go.
It's to a point where the New Giants have to evaluate Saquon, and I love Saquon. I really feel like, just like I felt when OBJ was with us. The Giants organization have not done anything to make those guys better. Well, so you're in the position where you need to, either you need to pay Saquon, and I'm not sure if you go out and pay him big money when he's having all these injuries, or two, you trade him and try to bring in somebody that can help jumpstart your franchise. And we know Russell Wilson, you put him a couple receivers, a decent O-line, and a defense, what they have, that can bring the Giants back into a playoff atmosphere. And we know with Sierra, New York is I think she'll settle for New York over Seattle.
Well, Freddie, I got 3 issues with that, and then I'll let whoever else wants to go. The only issue I got with that is I wouldn't trade Saquon. I wouldn't trade Saquon purely for the fact of Russ hasn't had a good running back in Seattle since Marshawn Lynch's prime. And that has obviously shown a tremendous difference in Seattle's gameplay. A lot of that can also be traced back to the offensive line being garbage, which ties into Dave Gettleman. If y'all want Russ, Dave got to go.
Oh, he needed to be fired. He needed to have been fired weeks ago. He should have been fired last year.
Because y'all's offensive line is garbage. And if I'm Russ, I get the market. I get the weapons are probably about there, and the defense is an upgrade, but the O-line is about the same, if not worse. And then if you give away the star running back too, he's in about the same situation he'd be in Seattle personally. But that's just me. Whoever else wants to go can go.
Lionel, you going or you want me to go?
You can go ahead.
I don't even see how Russ can lead. I don't even see how you work a trade. Like I don't even know how that works. Like what team has everything and is a quarterback away? Because once you bring him in with that contract, like you need to have everything in place, and all you need is a quarterback. I don't know. Maybe San Francisco is willing to give up Jimmy G and quit on Trey Lance. I don't know, but the team that Russ goes to, if it's via trade, has to already be ready, or it doesn't make sense for Russ to go from one bad situation to another bad situation, right? But to answer the question on who wins in that divorce, definitely, depending on where Russ goes, Seahawks loses, because as soon as Russ leave, I think Pete Carroll is going to go as well. Like he's going to.
Well, I think it's going to be because I heard this is what I heard, because there's reports are beginning of the season that them two have not really been on the same page, because everything that's go on in Seattle, Pete Carroll runs the show down there. He brings in the players and stuff like that. He runs the show. So it's like either it's Pete Carroll, either he's gone, or it's Russell Wilson.
I think it's both, to be honest with you, because think about it. The USC job opened back up. Why not have a second reunion between Pete Carroll and USC, especially if Russ is gone?
Hey, Pete Carroll don't need to go back to USC until they decide to give Reggie Bush.
Hello, there you go.
I agree.
I know that's not on USC. I know that's NCAA, but still, boycott with Reggie Bush. Help him out, man.
No, absolutely. I think everything's kind of gone downhill for Seattle ever since they decided to throw the ball instead of run it in that Super Bowl. Because if you look at it, they just haven't really been the same since, and they haven't been on the same page since. And kind of like what you said, Mel, him and Pete, or I don't know if it was you or Freddie, but him and Pete Carroll, Pete Carroll, haven't been on the same page for quite some time. And I think that the moves that Pete Carroll has made, I don't think Russ has agreed with them. They haven't really made that team better. They kind of always elevate to the same level, and then that's just it. Like they don't go anywhere beyond that. So I think that, like you said, Mel, once wherever Russ decides to go, the team definitely has to be ready. But either way it goes, I think Seattle loses in that, because you're basically in a rebuilding space at that particular time, because there's no other elite quarterbacks you can get for Russ. So it's not like, you know what I'm saying, you can plug somebody else in that system and it's going to make it work the same way that he has. So no matter where he ends up going, which I do think he ends up getting traded or leaves in free agency, however it works, like Seattle's going to lose either way, because Russ is going to make whatever team he goes to better. Now, how much better than the Seahawks they'll be will yet to be determined. But like Seattle is in a can't win situation basically. Like you're losing a franchise quarterback, a guy who elevated that franchise out of the pit hole that they were in, and now he doesn't want to be there anymore, and you guys haven't really given him too much of an incentive to stay. So I think that Seattle ends up being the loser in that situation.
That's facts.
I'm gonna throw something out there. It's gonna be controversial, and then we can end the show if we want to. So since Tom Brady only signed a 2-year deal with Tampa Bay, after next year that contract is over. If Tampa Bay always in the market for a quarterback, you're in Florida. Tampa Bay, good market. They got a good O-line. They're gonna have at least Mike Evans, maybe another weapon. They might still have Chris Godwin if they're able to financially pay for him. They have a good defense. Tampa Bay could be the new Russell Wilson spot.
That's not controversial. That can happen.
It makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because
and Russ is still relatively young. Like he's not super. I think he just turned 30 or 31 maybe.
Yeah, 30. So he'd still be young. They could still get a few years out of him.
I would say they can still get a few good quality years out of him, no matter where he decides to go. But if he goes to Tampa, that'd definitely make things interesting. I'm not gonna lie. And
in a very winnable division, because there's nobody that's really a front runner in the NFC South with the exception of Tampa Bay.
My only problem with that is would Tampa Bay really get rid of Tom Brady though?
2 years from now,
Tom Brady would have to leave. Well, I don't know, because I don't know.
Well, you got to think about it. Right now, he's coming towards the end of that 2-year contract, and again, he's kind of been like hit and miss on whether or not he's going to continue to play. If he stays and Russ is available, no, you got to go with Tom. But I mean, if Tom's like, "Yep, I'm done," or "I'm retiring," and the opportunity is there, yes.
Hey, I love Tom Brady just like the next guy, but ain't no way I'm taking 40-year-old Tom if I got an opportunity to get 30-year-old Russ. There's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way.
I agree.
And to be honest with you, I know you don't want to break up continuity in the middle of the season, but if Seattle called me now, I'm Tampa Bay. I'm sending TB12. it's what it is.
We're going north, Tom.
Oh yeah, man. I'm doing it all day long, man.
Okay. All right, y'all. Well, this has been another episode.
I would hate the Seahawks even more.
This has been another episode of Just Say the Truth. Want to thank everybody that's been on. Mel, it was a great pleasure, great honor having you on, my brother. Hopefully we have you on again. We do Just Say the Truth every Wednesday and Friday night. Of course, we had the Sensei taking everybody to school, especially Freddie, since Freddie decided to
show.
And then, of course, we can't forget the man, the GOAT, as he likes to call himself. Can't forget Freddie. You know, Freddie coming in. He didn't spit too many Freddie facts tonight, so I'm proud of him. He's a little delusional, but we
Freddie
work.
delusional. We love him though.
Hey,
right.
I do want to extend an invitation, y'all. Y'all more than welcome to come to my podcast. We go live on Tuesdays. It's called Man Down, and if you go to YouTube, subscribe to Man Down Podcast Network. And we much like y'all, we have a panel and we go through the topics, and it's a lot of fun, man. So it'd be real good to get y'all over there one time. If one of y'all can make it, then that's cool. But
oh yeah, for sure. What time do y'all record?
It'll be, I think, 8 o'clock Eastern. It's 6 o'clock my time. I think that's 9 o'clock Eastern. 9 o'clock Eastern.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
okay, got you.
Okay. But just let me know, man. Hit me up on Facebook or in my DMs, or I'll have Freddie get a hold of me. But y'all more than welcome to come on and school us over there too. So
sounds good.
All right, Freddie, you muted
yourself.
Freddie,
I think you muted yourself, though.
You got that right, because all I know how to do is school.
Oh my God!
I'm a teacher. I'm the superintendent. I'm the principal. I'm all of it. I'm the GOAT. You heard him.
Yeah, you're definitely getting an F on that.
Hey, Freddie, you can school us until it comes to LeBron and Lakers topics, man. Your objectivity just went out the window today. Everything else you was good on, but when you got to that, man, you can't call a spade a spade.
He's an Old Navy flip flop, man. You just gotta understand. He just
Elena,
back and forth, back and forth. You gotta understand.
Elena, who taught you everything you know? Who taught
you didn't teach me? You ain't teaching me nothing. Boy.
Now you want to front it with guess. You want to front with guess.
Tony, please let Mel know what time it is for real.
Okay, you want to front with guess. I see.
Hey, real quick though, before we wrap up, I do want to give a big shout out to the homegirl Carolina Teague. She came on the show today, so shout out to her. We had a really good convo, so y'all got to make sure y'all check that out Friday when it drops.
All right. Yeah. Well, hello. What's the name of the show?
The show's called From the Ground Up. I will be posting that on Facebook. So Mel, I'm gonna look for you after we wrap up here, so we could so I can follow you and you'll be able to see it and you can check it out.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
For sure.
All righty, y'all. We all have a good night, and we will see y'all on Friday.
All right.
See y'all too. All right.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.